the front court, floats it up, down the lane, shot short, rebound loose, Wemby's got it, he lost it, now it's saved right to Ant, and he'll jam it, but the whistle sounded as Castle and Wemby collided across the baseline. They're going to award Minnesota possession. What a wild sequence that was, but tremendous defense. It's amazing how one little play can create this burst of energy in the arena. 6:57 left to go in the opening quarter. San Antonio leads Minnesota 18-11. The opening quarter, the opening 5 minutes of Game 6 on the Timberwolves Radio Network.
Deep in the South, kicking up top game. 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 Deep in the South, kicking up top game.
Spurs lead the Timberwolves 18-11. 5 gone, 7 left to play here in the opening quarter. Before we get back to action, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification all across the Minnesota Timberwolves Radio Network.
Appreciate y'all joining me. Hey, back in action. Game 2, doubleheader. Hey, I ain't got shit else to do. Back to the background. Yep.
Along with studio host and executive producer Cal Soderquist, I'm Alan Horton, along with Jim Peterson, our radio platform here in section 132 of the Lower Bowl in Target Center in downtown Minneapolis. Our engineer is Veronica Rodriguez. Our statisticians are Super Dave Hanlon and Mike Greenbaum. Our studio coordinators are Alex Leibold and Ben Haney. Glad you're along with us on our flagship here in the Twin Cities, 100.3 FM, KFAN The Fan, iHeartRadio app, Timberwolves mobile app, Sirius XM, NBA Radio Channel 86, and all across the vast and ever-expanding Timberwolves Radio Network. Another good start for San Antonio, Jim. 7 of 10 shooting, 4 of 5 from beyond the arc. Only 1 turnover so far, but boy, it's been a trend in this series that San Antonio has just had really good starts to these games.
They're a good basketball team. They're well coached. They have a tremendous amount of talent. They're young and energetic, and they're looking to win a championship.
Io triggers it in. Naz Reid into the game. Shot clock is at 12 here, so it was recycled to 14. TJ Shannon, left wing, 3 on the way. That was halfway down and popped out.
First attempt of the game for Minnesota.
0 for 1 from deep. Here's Harper. Nice crossover. A drive in on Naz, right to the cup. Easy pickings. 20-11. Spurs lead by 9.
He's been a thorn in Minnesota's side, big time. Points in the paint has been where he's dominated.
And splits 2. Mid-post, left side, out to Io, right wing, up top, Julius. He'll take a run in the paint. His floater up, no good. Julius Randle, the offensive rebound. The putback, no, but he got fouled. Wemby went flying out of the screen, Jim. What did you see there?
I saw a flop is what I saw.
I saw a tiny hand in the back, and I mean, Wemby jumps out of bounds. He literally bends his knees and jumps forward.
Any kind of push in the small of his back, he really accentuates at that time. Julius Randle did have his hand on his back, but not to the degree to shove him out of bounds like that. He's 7'5".
Stay on your feet, for God's sakes.
Look, he's one of those players that's trying to get an edge, and it's not an unintelligent thing to do if you're looking to, but you're looking to bait officials. And if I'm an official, I don't give him that call.
Right.
And luckily they didn't. It's a good refereeing crew too, by the way.
Randall goes 1 out of 2 in the ensuing free throws. Wolves are down by 8.
Well, the only good thing right now for Minnesota is they're in the bonus the rest of the way if they can draw fouls. And
Castle right down the lane, easy lay-in and a foul.
Not sure what's going
Wolves
on.
broke down defensively in the high post.
They're just not communicating switches. Terrence Shannon Jr. got caught up in the wash that time. Anthony Edwards wasn't aware as he was following Devin Vassell going to the weak side. And Ant fouls him in the process.
Something stood out about what you said about Wemby looking for an edge. And I think that's what the most infuriating thing is, when guys like Wemby, guys like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Luka, Doncic,
the
Jokic,
most talented players in the league.
The most talented guys that don't need it look for that edge. It makes
right.
it completely unfair. 23-12 after Castle
Well, they know
hits 2 free throws.
they know they're more
If
likely to
the
get the call. You know, those talented
Right.
guys get the benefit of the whistle.
Wolves right to left, trailing by 11, largest deficit of the game. Ant backs his way down to the low block, cross court. TJ, they move it around the perimeter. Nas fakes the pass, pulls up on a straightaway 3, drops it in at the shot clock buzzer. 23-15, Nas Reed has made this an 8-point game. Dylan Harper will bring it up. Ayo will pick him up at midcourt. Trying to pick up the Spurs offense higher up on the floor. Harper around his back, nearly turned it over. Now Castle inside. Wemby swings it out to Vassell. Clean look at the 3. It's offline. No weak side rebound. Nas over his back. Wemby pokes it free out of bounds. It'll be Timberwolves ball.
Minnesota got away with one that time. Switching situation. Ayo got rolled up with Wembanyama. He threw it out to Vassell. Ant had come to help. He was wide open on the perimeter and missed an open shot.
Spurs are hitting 40% of their wide open threes in this series. They're getting 19 a game. Ant turns it over under some duress. Champagny with a steal. Keldon Johnson spins his way inside, hesitates, now lobs it to Wemby, who touches it up toward the cup and drops it in.
Just amazing touch. I mean, that pass went up. Keldon Johnson threw it up near the rim, and Wemby was like backwards in front of the rim and still guided it through the hoop.
Ayo off the TJ screen, switched on to Wembanyama, now to Nas on the run. Wemby's away from the cup, and Nas will make him pay. Good recognition there by Nas and Ayo to get something away from Wemby, who's out on the wing. 8-point game as Wembanyama drops it inside, looking for Champagny, knocked away by Shannon. Ayo leads a 3-on-2 break, kick out to the wing, jumped by Wemby, he deflected it, it's loose, scooped up by Ayo. Gets it back to the wing where he initially intended. Now Nas sets himself, fires and hits! Couple of threes in the last 2 minutes for Nas Reed. Wolves down by as many as 11, are within 5, 25-20. Target Center is rocking and rolling with 4:30 left to go in the opening quarter. Spurs 25, Timberwolves 20. You're listening to Minnesota Timberwolves basketball.
Deep in the South, kicking up top game. 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 Deep in the South, kicking up top game.
The Night Studios, this Wolves Spurs Game 6, the second end of a doubleheader earlier this evening in Cleveland. The Cavs with a closeout opportunity as they had a 3-2 lead in their series with the Pistons. Of course, New York Knicks resting up and awaiting the winner of this one. Neither team had won on the road until the Cavs went and did that in the Motor City earlier this week, and that's what gave them the opportunity to finish things off here tonight. But the Pistons dug in and had other ideas. They forced this one to a Game 7.
86-85 Pistons, 7:09 to play. Harden has 20. Danish Jenkins, left hands up the right side. Top side to Cade against Wade. Clock at 11. Cade goes left wing. Donovan Mitchell picks him up there. Cade starts his drive, spins to the basket, flips it up, it won't fall. JD with a rebound. Top side to Tobias. Back in the paint to Jalen Duren. Spins and scores! JD with a 360 and a hoop. And it's 98-85 Pistons.
Don't doubt this Detroit Pistons squad. They were down 3-1 in that first-round series against the Magic, and in this series they get the win in Cleveland and bring it back to Detroit for a winner-take-all Game 7 on Sunday. 115-94, the final tonight in that Game 6. Let's get back to Alan Horton and Jim Peterson.
All right, Cal, there'll be one Game 7. Will there be a second? Timberwolves win here tonight. It'll be Game 7 in San Antonio on Sunday. Before the game, we asked head coach Chris Finch about some of the keys to the Wolves' offense getting on track.
They're hard to score on, and we're just a little handicapped offensively. We know we have to bring our defense every night and keep this score down, right? But we do feel we got to be better at helping ourselves offensively with trying to get some easier shots, multiple drives that'll open up the paint. Stay busy on the offensive glass. We didn't do that in Game 5. Try to be better in transition. We just haven't been able to capitalize there in the way that we need to. And if we've been able to get the 50 paint points or above, we've won those games. If not, we're averaging about 38 paint points, and that's for a team that prides itself on getting to the paint a lot. It's not just about the points we're scoring or not scoring in the paint. It's also the decisions that we're making there are probably hurting us more than anything else.
Yeah, Wolves have not been able to consistently win that battle in the paint. They have not been able to get things going in transition. They're still without a transition point. They are on an 8-2 run here over the last 121. All 8 points scored by Naz Reid. Stephon Castle brings it up, gets a back screen from Dylan Harper, works to the right side. TJ got muscled over, knocked down. The ball ends up out of bounds. They're going to say Spurs basketball. TJ not giving an inch to Stephon Castle. Second-year guard out of UConn. Dylan Harper will trigger in. First-year guard out of Rutgers. Now Castle against TJ and fouled on the perimeter. Justin Van Dyne calls the foul on TJ, who's getting into it. He says Castle hooked his arm. Now the inbound to Castle. That's 14 fouls on both sides with 4 to go here in the opening quarter. Keldon Johnson works against Randall. Back to Castle. Straight away on the 3. He got it. Stephon Castle, a straightaway 3. He's got 14 first quarter points. 5 of 6 shooting. 3 of 3 from deep. Mike Conley's into the game off the Shannon screen. Works to the left side. Back up top, here's Anthony Edwards against Dylan Harper. Stop and pop. Pull up angle 3. Missed it long. And the rebound to Luke Cornett. Wemby off the floor right now. Champagny, quick trigger, right side 3, way offline. Rebound, gotta have it. Ant scoops it up off the floor. On the run, attacking Keldon Johnson. Lost it out of bounds, and they'll say it stays Timberwolves basketball.
Stephon Castle has been really good from outside the arc in this series. He's a 33% shooter on the season, but he's shooting almost 38%, and he's really good right now. I mean, he's perfect from three-point land. He's 3 for 3, so he has really done a number, and then he's been so productive offensively too, averaging just under 18 a game.
He's had a positive plus-minus in all 5 games in this series. Stephon Castle. Rudy back out there. TJ Shannon, Anthony Edwards, Mike Conley, and Naz Reid. Ant on the run, down the lane, runs into Cornett, throws up a wild shot. It's no good. Ant thought he got fouled. He's flat on his back. Here's Keldon Johnson. Spin move in the lane, up with the right hand. Missed everything. Rebound out of bounds. It'll stay San Antonio ball.
There's a lot of body contact on Ant's shot attempt. In some ways, it was an awkward shot. Jaden McDaniels is going to come in for Ant right here, but that last shot attempt by Anthony Edwards was definitely physical, contested defense by San Antonio.
8-point Spurs lead. They've led by as many as 11. Give and go. Cornett to the rim. No, but he got fouled. What a beautiful inbound to the corner, and Champagny to a cutting Cornet from the angle. He gets fouled by Jaden McDaniels.
Forced Rudy out into coverage that time, out to the corner to defend three-point shooter. Cornet just slipped right to the basket. He set the screen that sprung Champagny open, which made Rudy go out there and cover. Cornet makes the first free throw here. Minnesota down 9 with 3:13 in the quarter.
Cornet's averaging 14 minutes a game, just a modest 3 points, couple of rebounds, does have a block per game. He will spell Victor Wembanyama. Generally, the Wolves have won those minutes, although some of the numbers have gotten a little bit wonky with the 2 blowouts in San Antonio, plus the extended run for Cornet in Game 4 when Wembanyama was ejected here. Jaden was falling out of bounds, tried to fire it off Champagny, went through his legs, and then a whistle by Josh Tiffany calls a foul on Champagny for a push.
San Antonio just switching all of the pin down actions that Minnesota's running, and so you're virtually doing all the work for nothing because they're just standing in a zone. If Minnesota wants to cut to the basket, they're going to get open. I mean, they're standing in their zone and they're just switching when Minnesota's pinning down. And if somebody cuts, they're going to lose them in the switch. And
they can do that because all their guys are roughly the same size with the exception of Cornet and all pretty good defenders.
That's right, and so that's what it's one of the things that Chris Finch always talks about is that you got to slip out of those things and cut to the basket.
2 free throws good for Jaden McDaniels. Back to an 8-point game. San Antonio leads it 30-22. Under 3 to go here in the opening quarter. Fox on the move up top, jerks to his left, gets in the paint of McDaniels. Jaden's done a good job on Fox when he's been the primary defender. Straight away, Dylan Harper 3. That rims off, and the Wolves have the rebound. Down 8 with possession, right to left across your radio. Jaden McDaniels against Dylan Harper. They're looking to post up on Nasri. He's got it 18 feet out. He's immediately doubled. Cross court, TJ comes down with it. Tried to get it inside to Rudy. Picked off by Champagny. Here's Fox up into the front court with a head of steam. Stops the 3-point line. Drives on Nas. Shoves off. Fades on the baseline and hits the 15-footer. Got the matchup he wanted. When he leaned in and pushed back, on the step back, he was wide open. Down by 10. Here's TJ into the paint. Up on Cornet. Shot blocked. Cornet takes it out of the air. Now Fox on the hit ahead. Here's Harper. Met by Conley. In the lane. Mike knocked it free. Loose in the corner. Conley collects it. Fires it off of Harper out of bounds.
Harper, yeah.
Terrific play by Mike Conley.
Really heady play. Stopped him in transition. Made him dribble out to the perimeter. Knocked the ball loose that time. Then before it went out of bounds, grabbed it and threw it off of him before he went out of bounds.
Harper had a head of steam at the top of the key, too, and to prevent him from getting to the rim. Terrific job. Conley off the McDaniels screen. He's got Champagny on him. Sets up Ayo right wing. Back to Mike. He's open. He'll pop the lefty on the 3-ball hits. Well, on low volume, Mike Conley has been sensational from beyond the arc. He's now 9 of 16 in this series. 7-5, Timberwolves trailing by 2 with Wemby off the floor. Keldon Johnson, a runner over Gobert, no, but cleaning it up as Cornet. Wemby back to the free throw line, or I should say to the scorer's table. He'll check in next whistle. Nas wing left off the Rudy screen, top of the key, free throw line in the paint, up on Cornet. Didn't get the shot to drop. Keldon Johnson, well, it looked like he knocked it out of bounds. They say it's off Rudy. Here comes Wemby back on the floor.
Gobert has just been completely unable to get any kind of offensive rebound traction in this game. Minnesota's missed a lot of shots too, and he has just been played super physical. They are boxing him out every time. He normally is able to get around that and still be productive, but he's not been able to do it at all. Averaging only 8 points a game in this series so far for Gobert.
Wemby a +5 on. Spurs were a +4 with him off the floor. Here's a drive by Fox right to the cup, turning the corner and laying it up and in. Under a minute to go first quarter. Spurs hitting 67% of their shots. They're up by 11. Jaden McDaniels, wing left, crossover on Fox, in the paint, rises up, the jumper no good, it swirls out, Champagny the rebound. Jaden can get that shot anytime he wants against Fox. De'Aaron cannot get up to block that. But Jaden has not consistently knocked it down. Here's Wemby stepping into a left side 3, no, rebound tapped out. Ayo got a hand to it, Rudy's got it. Up in the front court, here's Conley. Mike against Wembanyama. Jaden McDaniels drops it for Nas. Thought about a 3. Instead drives on Johnson. Spin move up with the left hand. Soft touch. Big man. He's got 2 more. Nasri with a double-digit opening quarter off the bench. 36-27, Spurs by 9. Shot clock goes dark. Timberwolves do not have a foul to give. Fox just inside of midcourt. Wemby shoves McDaniels in the back, setting the screen. Cross-court, Champagnie open on the three. It was halfway down, popped out. Rebound loose, out of bounds. And it'll be Timberwolves ball with 1.4 to go in the quarter.
I still don't understand how all of these San Antonio Spurs screeners are able to push in their screening actions.
Baseball pass length of the floor for Jaden McDaniels, no good. And we head to the second quarter with San Antonio leading Minnesota 36-27. And led by as many as 11. They got a 9-point advantage after one on the Timberwolves Radio Network. A troubling trend for the Timberwolves is that whoever has won the first quarter in the first 5 games of this series has gone on to win the game. The Timberwolves won the opening quarter by 1 in San Antonio. They took game 4 in the opening quarter by 4. They won both of those two. The other games, the Spurs have had the lead by 7 in game 2, by 1 in game 3, by 4 in game 5, and by 9 here in game 6. Mike Conley after shoot around talking about the kind of effort the Wolves are going to put forth here tonight facing elimination.
Well, I think you'll see the most urgent team you've seen. You know, it's a desperation feeling. You know, when you're at the cusp of trying to get to the next stage, to get to your ultimate goal and have opportunity to get knocked out. I think everybody's, you know, on 11 as far as the alert, you know, red alert. So I think everybody's going to be giving everything they have, and you know, nobody wants the season to end tonight. Nobody wants to end this way. We feel like we're a much better team than what we played like in the series. So, you know, trying to get this one is the most important, obviously.
Mike Conley, his 120th career postseason game. That's 14th among active players in the NBA. He mentioned being on alert to 11. There were a couple of breakdowns defensively in the opening quarter that I just don't know that you should have in a game 6 with everything on the line.
Absolutely not, you know, but some of those breakdowns have happened with TJ Shannon, and so, you know, he's been a great low man help guy, but up at the top of the floor, they're causing confusion. They're running action that is confusing to guard.
And down the lane, runs it up with the left hand, the shot no good, and into the corner, Jaden McDaniels tracks it down. Shot clock recycled to 14. Nas right angle 3 on the way. That was online, but short. Nas falling back a little bit as he came from 2-point land to 3-point land. Nas leads the way with 10 points. Meanwhile, the starting backcourt for the Spurs has 23 points between Castle and Fox, and they've hit 9 of 10 shots. Here's Dylan Harper getting into the act, knifing his way to the rim and scoring it for 2. 15 points. points a game off the bench, 38-27. Randall down the lane, bully ball, went up on Wemby, got it knocked away out of bounds. A lot of contact. Randall comes up with both of his palms skyward, wondering where the whistle was.
I know Cooper Flagg won Rookie of the Year, and Con Knipple was right there with him. And VJ Edgecombe was somebody that those three everybody talked about, but I don't think people talked about Dylan Harper enough during the course of the season. He's been this good pretty much all season long. He did have a little down streak middle of the season when he was, you know, the guy's running to the brick wall of the long NBA season, but he's been tremendous.
Here's Nas working against Castle, into the paint, out to Randall. Camped out for a three, lets it fly, it's offline. Rebound kept alive by McDaniels. Picked up by Fox, up ahead Wemby, running to the rim, and he dunks it with two hands. Ant shoved him in the back. It'll be Ant's second personal foul, and Wemby will go to the free throw line for an and one. I mean, Ant's complaining about that, but
he did push him in the back.
In the act of shooting, and he does push him in the back harder than the other one we were talking about.
Ant has had a couple of silly fouls in this game. He had an earlier foul in a really help situation that he was completely behind on and had no business fouling. So that's two fouls on him that have been of the silly variety.
He's had a couple of other ones in this series too. One against Wemby.
Yeah.
It's just when you're beaten, you're beaten. Don't compound the problem with another free throw. Now the Wolves are down by 14, their largest deficit of the game. Spurs have hit 64% of their shots. Here's Ant on the move at the elbow, runs up the shot. He was hoping for a whistle. A runner from the elbow is not the shot attempt you're looking for. Castle back the other way, drops it. Carter Bryant, he's been good coming off the bench. Castle cross court, inside now to Wemby, lays it up and in. What a catch, what a finish under duress. And the Spurs now lead by 16 with 10:22 left to go in the first half. 43-27, the Spurs lead in Game 6, up 3-2 on the Minnesota Timberwolves Radio Network.
Looking for reliable heating and cooling solutions? At Hoffman Cooling and Heating, we keep your home comfortable all year round. With summer heat right around the corner, now's the perfect time for our $59 AC performance check, ensuring your system is running efficiently when you need it most. Have an emergency? Our expert technicians are on call 24/7, ready to assist Twin Cities residents. Call us today at 612-255-5883 or visit hoffmanheating.net. Hoffman Cooling and Heating, your comfort is our priority.
No matter how you drive it, there's a Ford for you. On the work site or out in the town, F-Series trucks provide power and toughness when you need it most. It's what makes them the best-selling trucks in America for 49 years. When adventure calls, the Bronco family always answers. That's because they're made for the great outdoors. With a flexible interior, the Ford Explorer adapts toward your needs. Visit your local Northland Ford dealers to find the perfect Ford for you. Plus, a great operating oil on Wicked. Based on 1977 to 2025 Seagull Industry reported total sales.
At Target, we're home court advantage for the hometown sports fans. With the Timberwolves season in full gear, we're here to help you gear up and make your game day football slam dunk. Hear that? That's what you call a buzzer-beating three-pointer for the win. Time edition, famous nachos, or your full-court press and some jalapeno poppers. Then serve up some sweet desserts to celebrate the W. Whatever you do game day, we're here for you at Target and Target.com.
Wolves fans, this is playoff basketball. Every move matters, so why leave your fit to chance? At Trade Home Shoes, our in-store real fit experience helps take the guesswork out of comfort. How? 3D foot scan, personalized fitting, expert advice just for you. With top brands like New Balance, Hoka, On, Birkenstock, Rival, and more. Trade Home Shoes' real fit experience makes all the difference when every game and every step matters. Trade Home Shoes. Enjoy life. Feet first.
.22 left to go in the first half that has seen the Spurs race out to another lead, up by 16, 43-27. Along with Jim Peterson, Alan Horton along with you. It's just been a struggle against this team. The Spurs team has been really good, and they're forcing the Wolves into some mistakes that they just continue to pound on them and take advantage of.
Defensively, Minnesota's switching a lot of the actions, including when Wembanyama is setting a screen, and so Minnesota multiple times now have been rolled up by Wemby, and this time it was Anthony Edwards again, gets rolled up under the rim. He can't guard someone 7'5". So that's one of the things that Rudy, when he's on the floor, can guard Wembanyama and doesn't typically switch, obviously. But offensively, Rudy can't help you score the basketball. He's got 0 points. He hasn't had a shot attempt. He's not been able to score this entire series. And so then also offensively, I mean, the difference in this game is the paint scoring. San Antonio's 11 of 13 in the paint. Minnesota is 6 of 16. And Minnesota started out 4 of 7.
Yeah.
They were 4 of 7 to start this game in the paint today. They got 2 of 9 since. San Antonio has really gotten separation. Their starting backcourt's been fantastic too. Stephon Castle, De'Aaron Fox have combined for 23 points here early on.
Red hot start to the second quarter for San Antonio. 7-0 run. They're up by 16, their largest lead of the game. Wolves have missed their first 5 shots. They've got McDaniels, Reed, Randall, Edwards, and Dosunmu on the floor. Io drifts right. He's got Victor on him. Drives on him all the way through. Left wing. Now Nas on the move. Kind of runs into Julius Randle's man. Now steps back on a high arcing 3. Off glass, off iron. No. Spurs
shot.
Able to save the rebound.
I mean, you can't get a shot. I mean, Minnesota's absolutely unable to get open shots.
Carter Bryant back out to De'Aaron Fox off the Wemby screen, who again takes 2 hands, just shoves the defender out of the way. And now a whistle. And James Capers is going to call it on Julius Randle. Randle's starting to get frustrated. He picks up his second foul. He and Ant each have 2. Sideline out of bounds for San Antonio. Here's Castle, bumped by Dosunmu down the right side of the lane to the baseline, to the corner. Carter Bryant working against Edwards, crosses over, pulls up, the jumper, no. Castle, weak side rebound, put back, good off the glass, and he drew the foul. Everything going San Antonio's way here in the opening half. 45-27.
It's been quite the physical display in the first half of this game by Stephon Castle. He has been, and we talked about this in the pregame show too, they just take turns dominating Minnesota. Make the free throw there for Stephon Castle, so Minnesota is down 19 here in this game.
10-0 to start the quarter. Wolves nearly throw it away. They do. Champagny hit the official. Hit Rudy over there. That's right where our cameraman is.
James Capers, it hit him, and he's out of bounds, so it's out of bounds. It was interesting because it just was he didn't blow the whistle. He didn't make a call, so they kept on playing.
We have an Amazon Prime camera right at midcourt. It doesn't usually come into play. There's not a lot of action right there.
Yeah.
But I saw Champagny slow down going into it and then speed up coming out of it. I said, what happened? Wolves have it here right to left, 10 to shoot. Dosunmu now to Edwards, bounce pass back to Io, steps into an angle 3, online but short. Carter Bryant the rebound.
I mean, it's one of those things when you finally get an open shot, you really have to make it.
Yeah, you do. Wolves are hitting 39% of their wide open threes in this series. Castle maybe tripped himself up a little bit. Feeds Wemby baseline, reverse layup, no. Here come the Wolves. Julius Randle working against Castle. Lowers the shoulder, drives in. That shot got swatted by Wemby. Off the window, it comes to Champagny. 3-on-1. Here's Carter Bryant. Inside, up strong. Missed the shot, but a whistle and a foul. Free throws coming up for San Antonio. Julius Randle now 1 for 6 shooting. And Jim, I looked up some numbers on Julius Randle. You can understand shooting maybe 5 for 20 against Victor Wembanyama. He has that effect on people. But Julius is shooting just 30%, 7 of 23, when Stephon Castle is his primary defender.
Yeah. We talked about that matchup that, San Antonio doesn't have someone per se. Keldon Johnson is able to defend someone like Julius Randle. But I thought it was underrated. Like, we're talking about Stephon Castle, who's their point guard, but he's not a typical point guard. He's 6'6", and he's a big physical presence. And so this game, I mean, everybody's so used to switching now that matchups really don't matter that much. And if you can play physical, and Stephon Castle he can impact. And they're doing it by a team concept. They're doubling Julius.
Missed free throw on the second attempt. Offensive rebound. Harper out to Wemby. Extra pass. Vassell up top straightaway three. A dagger three.
It is
off an offensive rebound.
That basket is looking like a hula hoop right now to this team.
14-0 to begin the second quarter. Timberwolves down by 23 points. Rudy Gobert, wing right, here comes in on a handoff. Makes the catch, left-handed dribble drive, gets in, off glass, missed the shot, got knocked down. Spurs come away with the ball, hit ahead to Castle, lob inside. Carter Bryant throws it down. Timeout, Chris Finch. 8:10 left to go in the second quarter, and the Spurs now lead the Timberwolves 52-27. The Wolves facing elimination and now facing a 25-point deficit. Timeout on the floor. We step aside from Target Center on the Minnesota Timberwolves Radio Network.
What's the difference between banks and a credit union like Wings? One word: ownership. Banks are owned by shareholders, so profits go to shareholders. At Wings, you own it, literally. So profits are reinvested in your financial experience in the form of member-exclusive rates, robust digital services, and locations throughout Minnesota. No one likes switching, but it's time to stop missing out on the benefits of financial ownership. Visit wingcu.com/own-it. Insured by NCUA. Membership required.
It's playoff basketball. You got to do a little bit of everything.
The intensity levels are at an all-time high. These are the NBA playoffs. Every team looking to make a run.
This is incredible.
Every player looking to make history.
Give me all you got. Let's go.
So tune in, because this is going to be unbelievable.
This is exactly what we want.
The NBA playoffs presented by Google continue on ABC, ESPN, NBC, Peacock, and Prime.
Cal Soderquist with another scoreboard update from our NBA Tonight studios. Earlier this evening in Cleveland, Cavaliers with a closeout opportunity at home against the Detroit Pistons. Pistons suffered the loss in Game 5 at home that gave the Cavs this opportunity, but Detroit able to punch right back and force a Game 7. It will take place on Sunday, time to be determined. But the Pistons, despite trailing in round 1, 3-1 against the Magic, and despite facing elimination on the road here this evening, battle back, a 115-94 victory. Here's Cavs head coach Kenny Atkinson, asked if his team came into this closeout opportunity overconfident.
No. We got a humble group, really humble group. There's none of that. There's no cockiness. I've seen this movie before, right? Like it's hard, and it should be hard. That's, so. The good thing is we put ourselves in a position to have a Game 7, but this is what it's about. Playoffs are hard. We got to close it out in Game 7.
First loss on their home floor this postseason for Cleveland. Again, Game 7 from the Motor City. Winner advances to the Eastern Conference Finals against the Knicks. Let's get you back to Alan and Jim.
All right, Cal, stunning first half here as the Wolves have gotten their doors blown off here in the opening 16 minutes of this game. It was a 9-point game heading to the second quarter. And in the 3 minutes and 50 seconds we've had of the second quarter, San Antonio has outscored Minnesota 16-0. Timberwolves have missed all 9 shots they've taken, including 4 from deep. The 9-point game has turned into a 25-point Spurs lead. Up 25. They have just been dominant.
You certainly have.
They lost one 20-point lead all season. That was back in March to the Denver Nuggets. They have gone regular and postseason 36-1 with a 20-point lead in the game. And it was a daunting task to try to beat the Spurs twice to begin with. This is the 53rd straight game San Antonio has played, going back to the regular season. 53 in a row. They haven't lost 2 straight. The last time they lost 2 in a row was mid-January here at Target Center, then the following game at Oklahoma City. Not lost 2 in a row. They at OKC were the only 2 teams in the league this year not to lose 3 in a row. Conley dancing off the Gobert screen. Left angle 3 on the way is short. Rebound into the corner, right to Pablo Prigioni, who does not have a Timberwolves jersey on and is no longer playing in the NBA.
He is not. but does a heck of a job as an offensive coordinator for Minnesota.
A coveted offensive coordinator. Talked with the New York Knicks last offseason. That's a sign of being good. As Wemby gets bumped inside, they'll give the foul to TJ Shannon. Is that your executives, your coaches are all wanted by other teams. And I think Pablo Prigioni fits into that. Mike Nori fits into that. Matt Lloyd has fit into that.
It's one thing to talk to somebody that is whose contract is up. It's another thing to talk to them when they still have a contract. It's like,
you referring to anybody in particular? Portland Trailblazers.
You know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Free throw is good for Victor Wembanyama. 10 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. They have not given Wemby a block in this game. But the Spurs do have 2 as a team. They have 43 in this series. The Wolves have 19. 43 blocks to 19. Wemby cashes in on the second free throw. 54-27. The Wolves are getting doubled up. 7:40 left to go, second quarter. TJ Shannon up top, reaching foul on Vassell. TJ got the bucket as a result of running down the lane and throwing it down, but well after the whistle. Sideline out of bounds here for Minnesota.
Wolves been stuck on 27 for a long time. It's been a while.
It's been 4 minutes and about 25 seconds and counting. TJ down the lane to the corner and Conley. Up top, here's Nas. Pump fakes, move to his left. Fires on the 3, missed it. Rudy offensive rebound. Takes a dribble, goes back up. Shot blocked by Wembanyama. Castle controls, feeds Wemby. Cross court now Vassell. Catch and shoot 3. In and out, no. Rebound. Wemby's got it along the baseline. Goes across the paint, sets up Harper. Spins baseline, scores it for 2. The onslaught continues. 56-27. TJ 1-on-4. Drives in on Wemby. Wow, got the layup and a foul. I feel like that's the first time in the series someone has actually challenged Wemby, gotten into his body, and been able to get an and one out of him.
Leave it to TJ to do it.
1-on-4 too.
Yeah.
There was nobody in the vicinity for any help.
Thirsty to score.
The thirst. That snaps the 20-0 run to begin the second quarter. From up 9 to up 29. Free throw is good for TJ. Let the comeback begin. 56-30. Here's Castle off the high screen. That'll be illegal. TJ able to draw that as Wemby set that illegal screen. Couldn't quite see on that one if he got the. Did he get the two-handed push again in the middle of the back, which is your one of your favorite plays?
It's just an unbelievable. You don't see that technique very often. It's obviously something they teach in San Antonio because all their bigs do it.
Yeah. Shannon on the move, drives on Vassell, runs it up in the paint off the back iron. Vassell grabs the rebound. 6:45 left to go, second quarter. Harper around his back, works on Conley, lobs it inside, knocked away by Ant. Controlled by TJ Shannon on a run to the rim. TJ off glass, got it for 2. Ant forces the turnover. TJ Shannon providing a spark. And Mitch Johnson, just like that, calls a timeout with the lead trimmed to 24. 6:35 left to go here in the first half of play. We're back in 30 seconds all across the Minnesota Timberwolves Radio Network.
There's nothing quite like being a Timberwolves member.
Oh, the energy in the building right now is through the roof.
Whether you're in for 10 games, 20, or every single home game, you'll save big. Get pre-sale access to playoff tickets and catch every OMG moment from Anthony Edwards.
To his left, step back, deep 3, on the way, he hit it! Anthony Edwards, that is clutch!
Explore the membership experience at timberwolves.com/memberships.
You're listening to the Timberwolves Radio Network.
6:35 left to go here in the first half. Jim Peterson, Alan Horton along with you. 56-32. The Spurs lead by 24. Timberwolves basketball tonight brought to you in part by U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank is proud to be the official bank of the Timberwolves. And by Travel South Dakota. If you call yourself an explorer, now's the time to get out there and get lost somewhere you haven't found yet. Plan your next best adventure today at TravelSouthDakota.com. A 5-0 TJ Shannon run has given the crowd at least something to cheer about.
And leave it to Mitch Johnson to call a timeout right afterwards. He doesn't let any little run when they have a lead go unnoticed. And so he is so quick to call that timeout. That is such a Greg Popovich style of coaching, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pop used to call timeouts, 30 seconds into the game if somebody missed a defensive assignment on the first possession.
Spurs have it out of the timeout in the front court. Castle with it. 10 on the shot clock. Cornette in there for Wemby. Castle uses that screen to the right elbow. Pops over TJ. Shot short. Rebound. Snared by Naz Reid. Just on the fingertips. Just sucked it in. Carter Bryant guarding him. Rudy, nice screen. Naz on the attack. Right to the cup. Got the lay-in and the foul. Naz had one thing on his mind. He was getting thirsty. Up to 12. He's got a chance for 13 at the stripe, and the Wolves now within 22.
Just got to keep chipping away. You're not going to do it all at once. You've got 6 minutes to go here in the quarter. Wembanyama's not in the game, and when he's been in the game, Minnesota's shot 34%, 11 of 32 when Wemby's in the game.
It's even better than the season average, or series average, I should say. The Wolves are shooting under 40%, 39%. 8-0 run after the free throw by Naz Reid. So 5 by TJ, 3 by Naz, 56-35. Castle wing right, here's De'Aaron Fox. He'll get a Cornette screen. One hand on Ant's hip, and Ant tries to run around that screen, and he's called for the foul. That'll be number 3 on Edwards. 5:48 left to go in the second quarter. Wolves are in the penalty, so that's free throws for De'Aaron Fox, who is an excellent free throw shooter. 78% in this series.
Ant has just been way too handsy, so he picks up 2 silly fouls, which puts him in the situation where he's got 3 now all of a sudden. And even on this last third foul, he's just reaching out and grabbing De'Aaron Fox, trying to negotiate a screen. I mean, like, it's such bad technique.
Fox second free throw. That's also good. 28 points combined for the starting backcourt of Fox and Castle. They've hit 10 and 12 shots and 4 of 4 from deep. Shannon against Vassell, bumped in the paint. He'll float up the shot from 8 feet and hit it. Tough 2 for TJ Shannon. He's now up to 7 off the bench in 8 minutes of play.
Yeah, Minnesota's bench has been good.
Fox working against Naz Reid. In the paint, steps through, up with the left hand and hooks it up and in. 60-37. Bulls down by 23. They've been down by as many as 29. TJ on a run, left to the lane, got to the cup and lays it in. 9 now for TJ Shannon. And a turnover into the front court. The Spurs throw it away.
Minnesota's bench has 25 of Minnesota's 39 points in this game. Naz Reid has 13, Terrence Shannon with 9.
All 9 of TJ's points have come here in the second quarter. He missed his first 2, but that was back in the opening quarter. He's 4 of 5 shooting here in the second quarter.
I mean, those 2 have been the only ones that have scored here for Minnesota in the quarter.
All TJ's points have come in the last 155. He drives here, but Cornette timed that well, blocked the shot out of bounds. It'll stay Minnesota basketball, 14 to shoot. Carter Bryant out. Here comes Keldon Johnson for the Spurs. Johnson, the 6th man of the year in the NBA this year. One of 18 players to play all 82 games. Here's Ant off the inbound, splits 2, runs it up with the right hand. Shot was short. Rebound tapped out. TJ's got it. Drive, sets up Mike in the corner. Conley buries the 3. Mike Conley, his second 3 ball of the night. Timberwolves down by 18, 60-42. 15-4 Minnesota run as Fox gets into the paint on Edwards. He's got a hand on his hip. Fox lobs it back out. Vassell now 10 to shoot. Cornette sets the high screen. It picks off Conley. Now Vassell spins at the elbow, puts up the shot over Conley. It's no good. Naz Reid has the rebound, and then he got fouled by Luke Cornette. Cornette got his big fat feet in the way. That tripped up Naz Reid.
Naz doesn't need anybody else running up underneath him. Wembanyama's going to check back into the game here. Mitch Johnson senses a little bit of a run here. There's still a lot of time in this quarter. Minnesota's been able to cut into this, what was a 29-point lead, down to 18.
TJ Shannon, ball in hand in the backcourt. He'll bring it up right to left. Edwards with a touch, right back to TJ. Off the Gobert screen, top of the key, in the paint, steps up and got a shot blocked from behind by Devin Vassell. 9 on the shot clock for Minnesota. 4:10 left to go in the first half. So they trimmed 11 off the lead. Rudy pushes it up from just inside the free throw line. No, off the heel. Wemby the rebound. Here's Fox working against Conley, left side of the floor. Victor up top. Wembanyama sizing up Gobert. Now takes a run on Rudy, down to the block, tumbles to the deck, still gets it out to Vassell. Now up top, Harper pops on a three and drains it. Dylan Harper, silky smooth on that three. He's got 9 off the bench, his first 3-ball of the night. Harper just 3 of 11 heading into tonight's game from beyond the arc. Ant pushes it up from 5 feet out, just outside the restricted area. 63-44. Bulls can't afford to trade buckets now. Wembanyama bumped by Rudy, goes into the shooting motion, but Josh Tiven will say not in the act of shooting, but it's not going to matter because the Wolves are in the penalty. 2 shots coming up for Wembanyama. I mean, that's guard-like skills right there, pulling off the and then taking the contact. That's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander right there, but in a 7-foot, 19 form.
Well, Minnesota's just been super handsy, and not in a good way, because when you're in space and you start putting your hands on offensive players, you're just asking for the referees to make the call. Rudy extending his arms at that time, and Wemby's going to, feign the interest right there in terms of getting the physical sort of like antics that he does. I mean, he's flailing around, and once he feels the contact, that's what he should do.
That last drive by Wemby when he went down the lane, you could feel him heading towards the ground. Every single step he took, you could just feel like
he's going to crumble.
It was like Gumby just falling to the floor there. There was no strength left in any of the limbs.
That's why you got to move your feet. You got to keep your body in front of him without extending hands onto the body. You can use your arm bar, but when you start putting hands on people, you're asking for a foul to be called.
He's such a good free throw shooter too. He's 5 for 5 tonight. He's about 85% in the series. 65-44. Ant sees 2. Spots McDaniels, top of the key. Now to Conley. They move it out. Nas wide open left side 3. He hits. 3rd triple of the first half for Nas Reed. 16 points off the bench. Wolves back down by 18. Here's Castle. Right side working against Conley. Bumps back, spins to the baseline. Rises up, forces it up and in. My goodness. Stephon Castle, 2 more. He's got 19. Not sure what more you're supposed to do if you're Mike Conley in that situation. Anthony Edwards with it up top, runs to the left side of the floor, takes off down the lane, layup is good. Was expecting Wemby as that pass to midcourt, knocked out of bounds. It looked to be off Castle.
They got to review this.
James Capers calling Josh Tiven over. And they are going to say Spurs basketball.
Chris Finch is not even looking at Jeff Newton, so he doesn't think that it went off of San Antonio at all. He was right there to look at it too.
So the Spurs will have it inbounding in the front court. 2:37 left to go in the half, and the Wolves again down by 18. Here's Fox taking the inbound against Jaden McDaniels, who's held him to 35% shooting when he's been the primary defender. Wemby just folds again under some light contact from Rudy Gobert. Free throws are coming up. Wemby was in the high post, back to the basket. I mean, that's contact you see on every play. I mean, I guess there's a little extension by Rudy, but not enough for me.
Well, not against a regular NBA player, but someone that's 7'1", that's as skinny as Wemby, you put an arm bar in their lower back like that as he's trying to catch the basketball. It's not natural. It's like you're playing against a toddler almost when you put any pressure on him. Seriously, that's literally what it's like.
That's awesome. Ball don't lie on the first free throw. missed them both.
That's definitely a ball don't lie right there.
67-49. Here's Ant on the move. Quickly moves past Castle, rises up on Wemby, attacks and finishes off the glass for two. Back-to-back possessions. Ant going right at Wemby. 16-point game. 67-51. Castle's got it up top. Watched by McDaniels. Off to Vassell. Pumped away by Mike Conley. Jaden McDaniels has it. He'll take a run down the lane. He'll hang and kick out. Ant right corner up, fakes on Fox, moves to his left, pops on the three, and sticks it! Anthony Edwards knocks it down! 67-54, it's a 13-point game. The Wolves are right back in game 6. 27-11 since the Wolves were down by 29 points. The way Ant attacked on those last two drives, where has that been?
Got to keep doing it. He's been in broken floor situations when they're getting back in transition, so their defense has not been set. And that's been one of the keys. They've been able to get stops. They've been able to get some loose balls where they've been able to recover the basketball and play in broken floor situations. So that's been a key. When San Antonio has their defense set, they're back and Wemby's protecting the rim, and they get their guards to get a chance to get in front of you and defend, they really are tough. But the Wolves have taken advantage of some pretty good defense on their side of the ledger as well. You just think about what would have happened had they not gone 0 for 12 at the beginning of the quarter.
Yeah.
Jaden McDaniels and
20-0 run.
Julius Randle are 1 of 9 from the field. You had Rudy Gobert's 0 for 2. I mean, that is abysmal for Minnesota. That's 1 for 11 from 3 starters. I mean, Ayo-Dosunmu's 1 of 3. It's been Minnesota's bench that has kept him in this game. It's a 31-16 bench scoring advantage for Minnesota.
67-54. Spurs will inbound length of the floor. Chris Finch sends out Mike Conley, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Naz Reid, and Julius Randle. Just over 5 minutes has been the length of this 27-11 run. The Wolves have gotten right back into it.
Shows how fast you can get back into a game.
Here's Fox on the attack in the lane, runs it up off back iron. No, Julius Randle the rebound. Champagnie got a hand right in his face. Here's Anthony Edwards crossing midcourt. He's got 16 points. He'll pop on a three. It's off to the left. The rebound tapped out. Conley's got it. Now Naz Reid to the corner. McDaniels. He'll line up the three ball. That's no good. Rebound popped up into the air, and the Spurs control. Vassell on the move. Champagnie dribbles into a pull-up left side three. He missed it. Randle another rebound. Baseball pass to Ant. He'll attack Fox. Stepping through in the lane. Lost it. Got it back along the baseline. Ant will pop 15-footer. That rims off. Champagnie the rebound. And Jade just wraps him up from behind. And that's going to be a foul. Not sure why Jaden decides to do that there with 1:15 to go in the second quarter, and that's his second personal foul.
He's being impacted by the fact that he's 0 for 4 and he just missed a wide open 3 in the corner. So this is the petulant Jaden McDaniels that arises when he doesn't make shots. He's frustrated and he's really thinking about himself right now versus his team. You don't foul like that. Literally is 94 feet. Champagnie had that basketball along the baseline, and Jaden fouled him under Minnesota's hoop. Think about that.
Yep. And you know you're in the penalty. Just put your head down and get back. Mike Conley was unbelievable during his time on the floor. He's played 13 first half minutes. Only 6 points and 3 assists, but I think the plus minus is going to be rather large. (69-54). Wolves down by 15. There's Anthony Edwards on a run to the corner. Here's Jaden lining up the three. Missed that one long, and the weak side rebound. We're going to get a foul against Dylan Harper. Trying to box out TJ Shannon.
Jaden has to come to the party. He's just struggling right now to regain any semblance of confidence here, and it's really hurting his team.
TJ at the free throw line, 1 for 1 tonight. Free throw is good. 69-55, down by 14.
Where's the smack-talking Jaden McDaniels after game 2 in Denver? That's the player that Minnesota needs, the one that scored 32 in game 6.
How about game 6, Jaden? There's a lot of good Jaden games in that opening round against Denver. 2 free throws are good, and once again, the Wolves have gotten it to within 13 after they trailed by 29 earlier in this quarter. 1 minute left to go, second frame. Wolves will zone up here. Castle takes a drive into the paint, steps through, lobs it back out. Here's Vassell moving it to Champagny. Now Wemby baseline drive, and he got fouled. Did he? No, they say ball out of bounds. Wemby can't believe McDaniels didn't foul him. Wolves inbound quickly, and here we go. Well, a missed opportunity for the Spurs to challenge that. That would have been number 3 on McDaniels. Randall, top of the key. Holds, now takes a dribble, gets by his man, shot rejected by Wembanyama at the rim. Here's Castle on the head edge. Champagny put up the shot, no, but a whistle and a foul, and there's the 3rd on Jaden McDaniels. And it's the right call. He pushed Champagny.
There's not a lot of contact there. I mean, by the
there.
letter of the law, he does push him a little bit, but that's...
Look, Jaden puts himself in these positions.
He does, you're right.
He's got no one to blame but himself. And we're back to some of the older fouling issues that Jaden has had throughout his career. Jaden will sit down now with 32.6 seconds left.
So the silly foul that he had along the baseline on Champagny, I mean, that's 2 fouls in the last 43 seconds.
There also might have been an opportunity to get him out of the game, but Finch has rolled the dice with Anthony Edwards with 3 fouls for most of this quarter. Ant will scoop it up here with 30 seconds left. He'll stop, he'll pop, and on the 3, he hits. 19 here in the first half for Anthony Edwards. 71-59, down to a dozen. Those have shaved 17 points off the 29-point mountain of a comeback. 3-second differential, so if the Wolves get a stop, they might have time for a shot at the other end. They do not have a foul to give. Stephon Castle on the logo at midcourt, watched by Mike Conley, drifts to the right side, right-handed dribble, keeps it low, cross-court Vassell into the corner Champagny. He'll hesitate, now rise and hit. Julian Champagny knocks down a corner 3. 5 seconds left, Ant with it, sees 2, splits them, lost the ball, scoops it up, fires, no good off the glass. But we have a foul. Josh Tiven makes the call, and I believe he's going to say not in the act of shooting, so it'll be 2 shots.
He lost the basketball as he was trying to split defenders. And before he could get into an upward shooting motion, he gets fouled by Stephon Castle. So Stephon Castle is going to pick up his 2nd foul.
74-59. Ant has 12 of his 19 points here in the 2nd quarter. Officials are huddling up about something here. Put 1.5.
I don't know how he was not in an upward shooting motion when Castle fouled him. He got fouled as he saloon doored 2 defenders. We'll take it though.
First free throw for Edwards is good. So his 3 got changed to a 2. One more free throw coming for Edwards. He's 2 for 2 at the line tonight. He missed the second one. Offensive rebound. Nas put back off the glass. Good with a 10th of a second left to go in the half. It's down to a 13-point game. A heave by Champagny comes up short. It was well after the horn had sounded. Timberwolves trailed by 29 points with 7:03 left to go in the first half. They finish the 2nd quarter, outscoring the Spurs 34-18. 74-61. Ant with 12 of the 19 points he scored in the first half in that second quarter. And the Wolves started the quarter 0 for 12. They finished it up 13 for 24. Bottom line, we've got ourselves a game. At the half, Spurs 74. Timberwolves 61. Cal Soderquist anchors your halftime coverage next all across the Minnesota Timberwolves radio network. One more free throw coming for Edwards. He's 2 for 2 at the line tonight. He missed the second one. Offensive rebound. Nas put back off the glass. Good with a 10th of a second left to go in the half. It's down to a 13-point game. A heave by Champagny comes up short. It was well after the horn had sounded.
All right, don't give up on this team just yet. Despite spotting the Spurs a 29-point first-half lead, and despite San Antonio starting the second quarter with a 20-0 burst, the Timberwolves have made this a ball game. They climbed back thanks to a 34-18 second quarter run, quarter closing run to finish up that first half. They are back to within 13 as we have reached the halftime intermission. 74-61, still down a baker's dozen, but it does feel like the Timberwolves have the momentum as we have reached the halftime intermission. Welcome inside the halftime show. I'm Cal Soderquist here in our NBA Tonight studios. In just a moment, we'll get to a few more of the first half highlights. A first 24 minutes controlled by Steph Castle, Victor Wembanyama, and the San Antonio Spurs, but the Timberwolves summoning a second effort late in that second quarter that at least made it a ball game and at least gives them life as we go to the third quarter in just about 15 minutes from now. We'll also take a closer look at that first half box score, tell you how the Timberwolves climbed back into the contest, and identify why the Spurs were so dominant throughout the first two-thirds of that first half. We'll then get you caught up on the other Game 6 that took place earlier this evening in Cleveland, and we'll get you set for the third quarter when Alan Horton and Jim Peterson chat with assistant coach Pablo Prigioni. Before we get to any of it, though, let's pause 10 quick seconds, allow our stations across our network to identify themselves. You're listening to Minnesota Timberwolves basketball.
Appreciate y'all sticking around doubleheader style. I'm just playing the background. Hey, Minnesota better do something. Okay.
Timberwolves down 74-61 at the halftime break. They finished that first half with a furious rally. We'll get to that in just a moment as we now dive in to the first half highlights. No more margin for error for Minnesota in this Game 6, trailing the series 3-2. They are back home at the Target Center and hoping to force this thing to a winner-take-all Game 7 in San Antonio on Sunday. The Spurs, as we have seen them do throughout this series, were the first to strike in the opening frame. They hit 7 of their first 10 field goals, including 4 of 5 from distance. They built an early 11-point edge, but then Minnesota turned to their bench. Naz Reid able to answer the call late in that first frame.
It's loose, scooped up by Ayo. Gets it back to the wing where he initially intended. Now Naz sets himself, fires and hits. Couple of threes in the last minutes for Naz Reid. Wolves down by as many as 11, are within 5, 25-20. Target Center is rocking and rolling with 4:30 left to go in the opening quarter.
Personal 8-2 run from Naz Reid that got the Wolves to within 5. Naz had 10 in the opening frame, 4 of 5 from the field. But if it was Victor Wembanyama setting the tone with his 18 first quarter points in Tuesday's Game 5, tonight it was Steph Castle's turn.
Works against Randall, back to Castle, straight away on the three. He got it. Stephon Castle, a straightaway three. He's got 14 first quarter points, 5 of 6 shooting, 3 of 3 from deep.
You are not supposed to be that good that soon at his stage of his career, especially in a game of this magnitude. 19 points at the half to lead the way for San Antonio for Stephon Castle. He's got 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 7 of 9 from the field, still a perfect 3 of 3 from beyond the arc. The Spurs led it by 9 after one, 36-27. They got a little too easy offense in those first 12 minutes, but a 9-point deficit certainly manageable for the Timberwolves. The problem, things got much worse before they got better. How about a 20-0 start to the second from the Spurs?
To the corner, Carter Bryant working against Edwards, crosses over, pulls up, the jumper no, Castle weak side rebound, put back, good off the glass, and he drew the foul. Everything going San Antonio's way here in the opening half. 45-27.
20 straight points to begin that second quarter. The Timberwolves offense could not buy a bucket, and they could not slow down that Spurs offense throughout the first chunk of that second frame. Spurs led Minnesota scoring inside, a 32-30 edge in the paint. The Wolves made up a good chunk of that deficit during their rally, and it was a rally that was sorely needed. Anthony Edwards helping cue things late in that first half.
67-49, here's Ant on the move, quickly moves past Castle, rises up on Wemby, attacks and finishes off the glass for 2. Back-to-back possessions, Ant going right at Wemby. 16-point game, 67-51.
12 of Ant's team-high 19 points came in that second quarter closing run. The Wolves finished the first half on a 34-18 burst. They briefly climbed as close as, 13 is where we sit right now at the halftime intermission, thanks to that putback with less than a second left off the Ant missed free throw. 74-61 is the deficit, and it feels like the Wolves have new life with the third quarter just around the corner. Anthony Edwards leads the way with 19. Naz Reid, some big minutes off the bench. We told you he had 10 in that opening frame. Nearly doubled it up, followed it up in the second quarter with 8 more. He's 7 of 11 from the field, 3 of 6 from distance. His 18 points helping cue things for a Timberwolves bench that had a big part in Minnesota's effectiveness in that second half. 35 bench points for the Wolves, outscoring San Antonio's second unit 35-16. Naz has 18, TJ Shannon has 11, and Mike Conley knocked down a couple triples as well. Naz is our hot player of the half on his efficient 7 of 11 shooting with those 18 points. Hot player of the half brought to you by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, providing the comfort you deserve since 1930. Visit them online at standardheating.com. So the Wolves back to within striking distance, down 13. When we come back, we'll tell you about the other final from elsewhere in the association here on the Timberwolves Radio Network.
Wolves fans, before the temps rise, make your move and get your AC ready. Standard Heating and Air Conditioning wants you to book early, save big, and relax all summer. Right now, get $45 off an AC tune-up or $90 when you add a furnace tune-up. Book by May 25th and mention code WOLVES when scheduling. Beat the heat and stay cool all summer long. Proud partners of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, providing the comfort you deserve since 1930. StandardHeating.com.
Got a young hooper at home? Timberwolves and Lynx summer basketball camps are back with locations across the metro for boys and girls entering 3rd through 6th grade. Each camper gets a t-shirt and 2 tickets to a Lynx game. Register your child now at TimberwolvesBasketballAcademy.com.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024 U.S. Bank.
Wolves fans, it's time for some new Wolves gear. From fresh jerseys and player tees to hoodies, hats, and more, find everything you need to rep your team all season long at the Timberwolves Team Store, a Fanatics experience. Start shopping now at shop.timberwolves.com.
This copyrighted broadcast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of the NBA.
You're listening to the Timberwolves Radio Network.
Still at the halftime break here at Target Center, and despite things going seriously sideways for the opening 5 minutes of that second quarter, the Spurs opened the frame with 20 straight points. They went up as many as 29. The Timberwolves would not go quietly. They finished the first half on a 34-18 burst. They're back to within 13, and as they did throughout the first half, Anthony Edwards and Naz Reid with a combined 37 points. The Wolves are likely going to need more of the same when that second half comes your way in just a few moments. Quickly, a final from elsewhere in the NBA. Game 6 in the East. Cleveland Cavaliers suffer a 115-94 loss. This was just a 3-point game at the half, but a 30-19 third quarter from the Pistons forces a Game 7 on Sunday from the Motor City. Wolves down 13. Third quarter action and a chat with assistant coach Pablo Prigioni next on the Timberwolves Radio Network.
Set a destination for the island and discover a world sure to satisfy every taste. Searching for the freshest seafood? Perhaps prime ribs more your style. Like to load up on mouth-watering sides? Maybe you're the salad bar type. Or simply indulge your sweet tooth. With our endless selections, why choose? Satisfy all your cravings. Trade Winds Buffet, only at Treasure Island Resort and Casino. Destination, fun.
What's the difference between banks and a credit union like Wings? One word: ownership. Banks are owned by shareholders, so profits go to shareholders. At Wings, you own it, literally. So profits are reinvested in your financial experience in the form of member-exclusive rates, robust digital services, and locations throughout Minnesota. No one likes switching, but it's time to stop missing out on the benefits of financial ownership. Visit wingcu.com/own-it. Insured by NCUA. Membership required.
You're listening to the Timberwolves Radio Network.
Timberwolves trim a 29-point deficit to 13 at the half, 74-61. The Spurs are on top here in Game 6. We check in courtside with assistant coach Pablo Prigioni. Pablo, you guys are sitting there down 29. I feel like TJ helped spark you guys. What did he do to kind of get things going, kind of increase the pace a little bit in that first half?
Yeah, that's the word, the pace. And the downhill and make the right play. You know, he scored in transition a little bit. He was able to get to the rim a couple times, and you know, like you say, that help our offense, help the other guys to be more aggressive too.
Pablo, you guys do a great job of finding a lineup. When you're struggling to score, you find a lineup that finally catches fire. You did that with the bench, but how do you get Jaden and Julius rolling in this game? Jaden's really kind of taking himself out of the game with fouls and kind of just silly shots.
Well, I think they got to keep making the right play. They'd open, you know, take that shot with more confidence. I think Julius missed a couple kickouts. I think he's have, you know, the ability to get downhill, to get in the paint with force. But you know, if Wemby is there, it's more for a kick out than for a finish. So I think, you know, he can really contribute on offensively, just getting downhill and find guys.
Ant found some success driving at Wemby a couple of times. Has this unlocked something with him, do you hope?
I hope too, but still, you know, they're going to swing the paint on Ant as he's being more aggressive. And it's going to be a ton of early, easy passes to the teammates. You know, got to be shot ready next to him.
Guys pretty fired up at the half?
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, talking about we need the best third quarter of the season.
Pablo, appreciate it. Good luck second half.
Thank you, Pablo.
Appreciate it, guys.
Pablo Prigioni along with us here. Guys are fired up at the half, ready to go. Only down by 13 after trailing by as many as 29. Timberwolves basketball tonight brought to you by Wings Credit Union. Put Wings Credit Union in your starting lineup to help meet your financial goals. Wings members enjoy some of Minnesota's best savings and lending rates, convenient digital banking, and access to over 80,000 surcharge-free ATMs. Visit wingscu.com to learn more. Insured by NCUA. Membership required. Jim, I love the way the Wolves started to get downhill, led by TJ Shannon, then Anthony Edwards. Naz Reid was a big part of that as well. 34-18 the run over the final 7 minutes.
You still got some money left on the table, too, because Ayo has barely played in this game. He's played 13 minutes, but he's just 1 of 3. So Minnesota starters have not been productive except for Anthony Edwards. So they've got room for growth here. And like Pablo said, this needs to be the best third quarter of the season for Minnesota.
It's amazing the Wolves are within 13 when you look at the box score. That San Antonio's put up 74 points, shot 60%, 50% from deep. Their free throw shooting has been fine. Yeah, the 8 turnovers high, and the Wolves scoring is just all over the map with, you know, their 3 front court players, Jaden, Julius, and Rudy, combining for 5 points in this game. Here is Ayo Dosunmu off the Rudy screen. Top of the key, left side, here's the end. Step back over Vassell on the triple try. And he jacked that one up a little bit left off window, off iron. Here comes Fox back the other way.
De'Aaron Fox had left the court in the second quarter limping, but looks like he's fine now.
Here's Wemby with it up top. He'll pop on a straightaway 3. That is short, and Ayo Dosunmu collects the rebound. Wemby has not hit a 3. He's 0 for 11 when it's been a contested 3. Bounces it out. Ayo Dosunmu to Jaden McDaniels down the lane. Sweeps it up with the left hand. No. Rudy, the offensive rebound, he's called for a loose ball foul as Wemby goes tumbling out of the paint, over toward the sideline, nearly all the way out to midcourt.
Rudy just has to have some awareness of what he's doing with his hands. I mean, he literally takes 2 hands and shoves Wemby out of the way, and if he hasn't learned yet, I'm not sure when he's going to.
It's 3 fouls on Gobert, 3 on Edwards, 3 on Dosunmu, 3 on McDaniels. We're just underway in the second half. Vassell to the corner and Fox. He'll pop on the 3 and hit it. 2 for 2 from long range. Fox and Castle have combined to go 5 for 5 from distance. 77-61. Again, you make a mistake at one end, they make you pay at the other. On the baseline, here's McDaniel, steps through, out to Dosunmu, up top Julius Randle. Pump fakes on Champagnie, gets to the elbow and sets up Jaden McDaniels, wing right. 3 to shoot across the lane, and runs it up with the left hand, and it drops in for 2. Jaden gets that to drop. He's got 4 points and 3 assists.
Good kick out by Julius Randle that time, too, to Jaden to make that hoop.
There's Castle around the screen, down the lane, draws the contact, flips up the shot. That nearly dropped.
You know, one of the other things about Rudy Gobert is that when he's trying to offensive rebound the basketball, the reason why he's pushing Wembanyama is because he's trying to clear space to get the putback dunk, but he could kick it out for a 3-point shot. Is another foul here on Minnesota.
Jaden McDaniels picks up his 4th personal foul. Jaden in the postseason, both rounds, 2nd in the NBA in fouling, 4.4 per game. Only Dylan Brooks of the Phoenix Suns was higher, and that was only over a...
TJ Shannon's been more effective in this game than Jaden McDaniels anyway. He's been a pretty good defender. There were a couple mishaps early in the game, getting some confusion on some switching situations.
2 free throws by Castle. Dylan Brooks played in a smaller number of games, but still averaged more fouls per game. Jaden's now got 27 fouls in 6 games. He's had 4 or more in every single game. TJ sets up Rudy inside. He goes up to try to dunk it. Met at the rim by Wembanyama, who is completely in his head right now. Castle pushes out to Champagnie. 3-ball no. Randle secures the rebound. Julius up the center of the floor, angling to his right. Terminates, lobs it off to Ann on the right side. Got Vassell on his hip, runs it up off glass. Tough shot, it's no good. Wembanyama the rebound. And Stephon Castle with the rebound. Wolves have just 2 points here in the 3rd quarter. Wemby jump hook in the lane. And now the Spurs are up by 18. 81-63. 7-2 run to begin the 3rd quarter. Timeout, Chris Finch. 9:49 left to go in the 3rd. You're listening to Minnesota Timberwolves basketball.
No matter how you drive it, there's a Ford for you. On the work site or out in the town, F-Series trucks provide power and toughness when you need it most. It's what makes them the best-selling trucks in America for 49 years. When adventure calls, the Bronco family always answers. That's because they're made for the great outdoors. With a flexible interior, the Ford Explorer adapts towards your needs. Visit your local Northland Ford dealers to find the perfect Ford for you. Plus, a great offer to go along with it. Based on 1977 to 2025 CY industry reported total sales.
Looking for reliable heating and cooling solutions? At Hoffman Cooling and Heating, we keep your home comfortable all year round. With summer heat right around the corner, now's the perfect time for our $59 AC performance check, ensuring your system is running efficiently when you need it most. Have an emergency? Our expert technicians are on call 24/7, ready to assist Twin Cities residents. Call us today at 612-255-5883 or visit hoffmanheating.net. Hoffman Cooling and Heating. Your comfort is our priority.
At Target, we're home court advantage for the hometown sports fans. And with the Timberwolves season in full gear, we're here to help you gear up and make your game day prep a slam dunk. Hear that? That's what you call a buzzer-beating three-pointer for the win. Time to dish up your famous nachos or put a full-court press on some jalapeno poppers. Then serve up some sweet desserts to celebrate the W. However you do game day, we're here for it at Target and Target.com.
Splash, splash, splash. Apply a little splash. When your windshield's getting dirty, just apply a little splash. When your windshield's full of grime, bugs, dirt, and snow, just use a little splash and be safe on the road. Splash, splash, splash. Apply a little splash. When your windshield's getting dirty, just apply a little splash. See safely on the road when you apply a little splash.
.49 left to go here, third quarter. Spurs 7-2 run to begin the third frame. Lead at 81-63. Timberwolves starting front court of Jaden McDaniels, Julius Randle, and Rudy Gobert. Three pretty big guys. They've combined to score 7 points on 2 of 17 shooting. They've committed 9 personal fouls. They have more fouls than points. Those three have not been able to get on track, and Rudy, I think, is, while he was confident against Jokic, he looks the exact opposite against Wemby.
Well, Wemby's got the ability to play above the rim more than he does, and he can play bigger and higher, which is a problem. Rudy's trying to get putbacks when really he should be trying to fan the ball out to the perimeter for three-point shots. How about the runs to start all 3 quarters? 18-8 by San Antonio, 20-0 in the second, 7-2 here to start the third. I mean, the start of quarters here for Minnesota have been just abysmal. It's the difference in the game.
You talked about our keys to the game right off the bat, the start to this game, and you could even parse that into start of quarters. And that's exactly what you're talking about. You're playing from ahead from the start of every single quarter.
That's 35 points, a difference in the start of quarters. I mean,
and you're constantly having to make that up. That's a huge mountain to overcome.
And somehow the Wolves did.
They did. They got to within 13. Despite their front court having more fouls than points. And Ayo Dosunmu is a -20 in 15 minutes. He has just 2 points on 1 of 3 shooting. Ant's the only one to provide some offense. And there's a reason that TJ Shannon is on the floor right now. Ayo Dosunmu has it up top against Vassell. Into the paint, Hanks drops it back out. TJ steps into the 3. Nope. Front rim, back rim, and out.
It's amazing how the one non-3-point shooter is the one that's open in all these possessions.
Kind of like that's by design, by a pretty good defense. Castle into the paint, spins, falls away on the shot. No, but he drew contact, and he'll go to the free throw line for 2 shots. TJ picks up his 3rd personal foul.
Well, look, Sean Sweeney is a Minnesota product who's been in the league. He was with Jason Kidd back in Brooklyn as a video coordinator. He's bounced around. He went to Milwaukee with Jason Kidd, and he was down in Dallas when Minnesota played them in the Western Conference Finals, designing their defensive efforts in Dallas. And now he's in his first year with San Antonio and with Mitch Johnson. And Sean Sweeney is going to be a head coach next year in the NBA. And if a job isn't offered to him that he wants, he'll just stay in San Antonio. Why wouldn't you? He's the reason why their defense is what it is. I mean, he's just such a brilliant mind, and he knows this Minnesota team.
Another assistant coach on that staff is Corliss Williamson, who's trying to lead a team to his 3rd straight Western Conference Finals. 2 here, 1 in San Antonio. 1 out of 2 at the free throw line. Ayo gets the finger roll to drop in under duress. 82-65. Champagny answers right back.
Unbelievable how easy that was. Scoring after a make.
3 gone, 9 left to play. Third quarter, Nas left to the lane drive. Swings it out to Ayo Dosunmu. Goes cross court, nearly threw it away. Randall able to track it down. Julius crosses over in the paint, sets up Ayo, moves into the corner. TJ, he'll attack the closeout drive and hammer it through with the left hand.
It's one of the first times I can remember somebody attacking Wemby's closeout.
Pulled him out, drove right past him. Wemby in the lane, off to Castle. Oh, threw it right through his hands. Nas had it and lost it. Kicked it right out of bounds. It stays Spurs ball.
It's just a great drive by Terrence Shannon Jr. As the ball rotated to him, Wemby was the low man rotating to Terrence Shannon Jr. He just attacked that closeout, and there was nobody at the rim.
Spurs still with it, right to left in the association whites. Fox has it, sitting on 16 points. Here comes Wemby, bangs into Anthony Edwards. They get the switch. Fox against Randall. Takes him off the dribble to the free throw line, runs it up and hits it. High degree of difficulty for De'Aaron Fox, 7 of 8 shooting. Ant rubs off the Naz Reid screen. Back to Nas out at midcourt. He'll get a running start on Castle. Shoves him out of the way. Lowers the shoulder now. To the corner, Ayo. Good ball movement. Randall, the open man, comes up short on the 3. Randall is 0 for 2 on his threes tonight. Julius now 4 for 21 in the series from distance. Castle feeds it to Vassell, just leading him towards the mid-post, and his jumper comes up short. TJ Shannon snares the rebound. Had a steam, a burst of speed, down the lane, out to Nas in the corner. 3 ball hits the heel, and the Spurs have the rebound. It's Johnson directing traffic as Fox runs away from Castle, so Castle will bring it up and initiate the offense. Kickball by Ayo Dosunmu, says James Capers. Enough of Frank. Castle. Good. Cross court to Champagny. High post, here's Wemby. Quick move on Ayo. Runs it up off glass, too strong. Harper attacks the window. Gets the rebound. Wemby left side, 10 to shoot. Up top to Dylan Harper. Harper's got 9 off the bench. They'll lob it inside. Wemby with a catch. Comes down with it. Goes back up. Knocked away, but a whistle and a foul.
Sure where the foul was. I mean, Julius, I guess, got him in the head with his right arm. He did swipe a little bit.
All 5 starters for the Wolves have at least 3 fouls, and Jaden's got 4.
I just try to imagine myself being on the floor, just sizing myself up against Wembanyama, what I would do with Wembanyama under the rim. I mean, there's not much you can do but hope he misses.
Once he gets that position, yeah, you're in trouble.
I mean, I guess putting him on the line is better than having to just dunk it, but I mean, it depends upon time and score and how many fouls I have. That's Julius's 3rd foul.
Julius will sit. Jaden McDaniels coming back with the 4 fouls. Naz Reid will play the center spot here. We'll have either take your pick of TJ Shannon or Jaden McDaniels at the 4.
It's been amazing what Wemby and Castle have done in this game in terms of drawing fouls. I mean, they've drawn 13 fouls, just the 2 of them. Wemby 7, Castle 6.
And speeds up across the timeline. That by Carter Bryant. Left wing Ayo, now to the right side McDaniels. Lost the dribble momentarily, gets it back, fires on a 3 and hits it. His first 3 of the night. Jaden McDaniels, who has struggled in the postseason mightily from beyond the arc. 29% coming into that made 3, and Devin Vassell answers right back with a triple of his own. Spurs have 10 made 3s. The Wolves have 7. TJ does what he does, attacks the rim. Got the lay-in, and he got the foul. 3-point opportunity coming up.
15 points for TJ in this game on 6 of 12 shooting. It's perfect from the free throw line, but it just was a great attack to Wembanyama, who was backpedaling to protect the rim that time. TJ so fast getting to the rim, contorted his body. Luckily, he was on the left side of the glass, so he was able to fend off Wemby and use his left hand to spin that one in.
Mike Conley checks in. Ayo Dosunmu sits down. 6:35 left to go in the 3rd. Timberwolves facing elimination, down 3 games to 2 in the series. TJ strokes the freebie. He does cap off the 3-point play. Ant with 19, Nasreen with 18. TJ Shannon with 16 at Pace, Minnesota. Castle wing right to Carter Bryant. Back to Castle up top. 3-ball good.
Unbelievable.
Stephon Castle with 25 points. He's hit 8 of 10 shots. He
Bucket.
Bro. 4 for 4. 94-73. Jaden on the attack. Right to the cup. Got the lay-in and the foul. He beat Marcel off the dribble, and he got off of it right before Cornette could contest. 94-75.
Stephon Castle has perfect shooting form. The way that he stays stacked and the way that he loads it up and lets it fly, great follow through, great technique in how he terms of loads the ball up and lets it fly.
I'm always impressed, especially with a young player, their shot selection too. The shot selection has been awesome tonight.
Really true. I mean, these guys are playing like a veteran team.
McDaniels got the free throw, 94-76. Wolves are down by 18, a turnover. Mike Conley's in the midst of things again. Here's Ant on the run, lowers the shoulder, drives in, reverse layup, no. He thought he got fouled. It looked like Cornette came down on Ant's arm. Here come the Spurs, back the other way. Carter Bryant on the attack, stripped from behind, it's out of bounds. It'll say Spurs basketball. Wolves might be able to steal a possession here. I bet that touched Bryant last. On the baseline, Castle will trigger in. We haven't had a challenge used by either side this game. Luke Cornette swings the elbows through. That nearly took out Nasri. Castle pops on a three and hits again. A left side three, 3 feet beyond the arc. It's up to 28 points. Stephon Castle. Here's Ant in the lane, lobs it to the corner and air-mailed Mike Conley. A couple of the Castle threes have just been absolutely demoralizing. Castle will bring it up here for the Spurs. 97-76, backing down McDaniels. Out to Cornette. Get it back to Castle, circles off the Cornette screen. Gonna pop again, this time well offline. And TJ Shannon, the rebound foul from behind by Dylan Harper. Only the third team foul against San Antonio with 5:21 left. Wolves have already committed 4. Castle is approaching his postseason career high, playing in just in his 11th postseason game. He had a 33-point game at Portland in the first round. TJ Shannon will bring it up here, met by Dylan Harper. Wing right, here's Conley, attacks the closeout. Into the paint, now to Nas in the corner. He'll take a drive across the lane, stripped by Fox, off the leg of Nas Reed, out of bounds.
They're not going to get time to challenge this, even if it would be a successful challenge.
Spurs quickly inbound.
Yes,
You're
sir.
right.
Did not go off Nas Reed, by the way.
Dylan Harper, top of the key, sets up Carter Bryant in the corner. That three ball is going to be off. Cornette, a put back, no, and Nas Reed clears the weak side rebound. Here's TJ with a head of steam. By Fox against Cornette, right to the cup, missed the layup, had too much momentum going towards the rim. Here's Fox, a lob inside, Cornette with it, turns, layup is good. And with 4:40 left to go in the third quarter, it's the Spurs 99, it's the Timberwolves 76. 23-point deficit, McDaniels goes inside, tried to dunk it, met there by Cornette, comes off the back iron. Fox back the other way. Dylan Harper got plowed into by Nas Reed, I think by accident. And a three ball is knocked down by De'Aaron Fox while all that was going on. Wolves have let go of the rope. They got it to within 13. 102-76 now. McDaniels floater in the paint. That rattles out. The Spurs have the rebounds. Fox up into the front court. Cross court now to Vassell. Vassell drives in, knifes his way between two defenders and lays it up and in. Meanwhile, Cornette away from the play, got tossed to the deck. Wolves will finally call a timeout because they are down by 28 points. 3:59 left to go in the third quarter. A 10-0 San Antonio run has pushed the lead to 28. Timberwolves have just 15 minutes and 59 seconds left in their season. Down 28 on the Timberwolves Radio Network.
Wolves fans, listen up. Pilot Games and your Minnesota Timberwolves just dropped the ultimate fan experience, the ETAB game, Let's Go Wolves. Play it right now at your local bar and chase massive prizes while you soak up every Wolves slam dunk and three-pointer.
What a win this is going to be!
Best part, every play powers local charities, so you're winning for the team and your community. So get out there, play, and show your Wolves pride. Brought to you by Pilot Games. Let's go Wolves.
As a business owner, you understand the importance of protecting your reputation, workplace, employees, and financial assets. Our team is ready to help yours by creating a custom lineup of industry-specific coverages and risk management service to help you stay at the top of your game. Contact your local Federated representative for more information today. Federated Insurance. It's our business to protect yours. Rated A+, Superior by AM Best Company.
All right, how about a brief distraction on action elsewhere in the association? We go to a contest earlier tonight in Cleveland. The Cavaliers looking to close out their semifinal series against the Detroit Pistons on their home floor, a place where they had not yet lost in this postseason so far, but the Pistons survive to die another day. They force a Game 7, a 115-94 victory on the road. And Game 7 will now take place Sunday, either afternoon or evening. We don't yet know that for sure, but we do know that there will be a Game 7 between those two teams. Pistons trailed 3-1 in the first round against the Magic, came back to win that series, trying to climb back and win another series. Here's their head coach, J.B. Bickerstaff.
I mean, they just don't quit. You know, the resolve that they have, you know, the belief that they have in one another. They just have the ability, you know, to bounce back mentally where they don't hang on to things, right? Like quarters don't bother them, halves don't bother them. You know, they just move on to the next play, stay moment to moment, and try to win what's in front of them at that time. And, you know, there's a built-in trust, and there's no insecurity in our guys' chemistry. And I think that makes a huge difference in these moments.
Cade Cunningham led the way, 21 points, 8 dimes. Game 7 on Sunday. Pistons and Cavs winner gets Karl Anthony Towns and the New York Knicks. Back to Alan and Jim.
All right, Cal, thank you. 3:59 left to go in the third quarter. It's the Spurs who lead the Timberwolves 104-76. What happened to the Timberwolves, who went 34-18 to cut a 29-point deficit to 13 at the half? Pablo Prigioni told us things were feeling good. The vibe in the locker room was solid, headed in the right direction. And then in the third quarter, the Spurs have outscored the Wolves 30-15. 30-15. Spurs are hitting 59% of their shots, 5 of 9 from deep. The Wolves are 6 of 18 shooting, 1 of 5 from distance. And the Wolves just getting out hustled on the glass, 12-4 here in the quarter. Last 6 possessions have not been great. 0 for 5 with a turnover. You work so hard. This is very similar to Game 5, where you work so hard multiple times to get back into the game, and all of a sudden it just balloons right back up.
You just have to give San Antonio a ton of credit. You just look at how they performed against the Oklahoma City Thunder. I mean, they beat OKC 4 times this year. They played them 5 times. They did lose 1 game in Oklahoma City, but this is a team that has had a lot of success against the good teams in the NBA. Obviously, when you have 62 wins, you only lost 20 games. They lost 8 of those games when Wemby was out. So it's just an amazing job that Mitch Johnson has done in his second year.
They're going to look at this last Anthony Edwards drive. He got fouled by Luke Cornett, and Ant came up grimacing. Cornett swiped down on Ant's right arm, and Ant came up holding the shoulder.
He made a play on the ball. He's trying to strip Ant as he's driving to the basket. It was pretty violent.
Upon review, the contact does not meet the criteria for a flagrant foul. So we have a common foul, 2 free throws, and play off the second.
It wasn't a head shot. It wasn't around the neck and shoulder area. He went across his arms, as you said. He basically stripped the ball, but there was a lot of contact. That's the proper call.
So Edwards will go to the free throw line here. He's got 19 points, 8 of 21 shooting tonight for Edwards, who came into the series averaging 24 a game. 51% shooting. He hits the first. But overall this postseason with Edwards' injuries, he's only averaging 21 points a game. That's his lowest scoring average in the 5-year playoff run that he and the Wolves have had. Third longest in the NBA, second longest in the Western Conference.
Extenuating circumstances to all that, though, with all the injuries that he's sustained.
And when you have an injury early in the game, too, it really messes up your per-game stats. That was my problem. That's why I never made it to this level. Too many injuries early. My stats were not great. Inside Harper. And there's basket interference on Dylan Harper.
But if there were a professional ping pong league, you would be an all-star.
Could be all NBA.
Yeah.
Or all ping pong, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe. Edwards with it up in the front court. McDaniels baseline. He'll drive, hang, and couldn't get the finish over Cornette. Cornette rips down the rebound. Spurs have it. 3:13 left to go in the third. Devin Vassell feeds Fox, wing right. He'll hold against Conley. Up fakes the three, looking to drive with that left hand. Shoves off on Conley with the right shoulder. Spins back and falls away on the 12-footer. Rims off. Naz Reid up ahead to Ant. He's on the move right to the three-point line. Spins at the elbow under duress. So kick out Jaden. Three ball good. Couple of threes for Jaden here in the corner. 104-80. Wolves are down by 24. No TJ Shannon on the floor right now. Harper with Edwards on him off the Cornette screen. Harper shuffles it to the corner. Carter Bryant. Now Vassell around his back, nearly lost it. Shot clock down to 3. Turns, fires on the triple, and that rims off. Naz Reid all alone for the rebound.
Spurs are, really blessed with a lot of point guard talent. They have 3 guys that could be starting point guards for any team in the league.
And off the back iron in the 3. Fox lobs it up ahead. Here's Carter Bryant. Cross court, Vassell, left angle 3 on its way. Nope. And Naz Reid's got another rebound.
Between De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, and Dylan Harper, those 3 are really good.
Yeah. Here's Jaden finding some space, sets up Rudy inside, underneath against Cornette. Jump hook rattles around and swirls out. Gobert can't buy a bucket. He's 0 for 4 in this game. Dylan Harper on a run, right in the lane, right to the cup, and he got it against Jaden McDaniels playing with the 4 fouls. 106-80. Mike Conley feeds it to Ant on the move. He'll pull up off the dribble and bury the 3. Second 3 ball of the night for Edwards. Give him 23 for the game. Wolves are within 23. Still a ton of time left. We have not reached the 4th quarter. Harper spins away from Edwards and then runs back into Ant. And Ant lowers the boom on him. Harper goes down. That'll be number 4 on Edwards. Ant got some frustration out on Dylan Harper right there.
Daniels has 4, Ant has 4. A plethora of guys have 3. Randall, Gobert, Audisumu, TJ Shannon.
We'll still have time left here, but if this does continue to go sideways, I just hope that some of that Wolves petulance that we've seen through the years does not manifest itself at the end of this game.
Right.
Don't go down swinging. I mean, literally swinging.
Right.
Fists,
yes, I know what you
hands. meant. 107-83 as Harper's at the free throw line. Gets the second one just like the first. 25-point Spurs lead. Spurs have had at least a 15-point lead in all 4 of their victories if they win this one here in Game 6. Ant runner down the lane. It popped out, but he drew contact. James Capers will send him to the free throw line for 2.
Ant's such a warrior, man. I just have so much respect for what he's been able to do, where he was 3 weeks ago to where he's at right now and what he's been through. He's just completed that first free throw. He's got 24 in the game. And he has just been a warrior here.
No doubt about it. It was a really unfortunate end to the regular season. And his last game for a stretch was mid-March when the knee at Oklahoma City acted up. And then missed the next 6 games and then was in and out of the lineup after that. And then had the hyper-extension of the left knee with the bone bruise to go along with the right knee issue. Edwards to the corner, Dosumu. 40 seconds left to go in the third. Wemby back out there, poked him free out of bounds. 110-84. Jim, we have seen the last 3 postseasons, the Wolves' postseason run come to an end in really kind of blowout fashion. Whether it was against Dallas, OKC, and potentially here, same thing against San Antonio. So when they've hit the wall, they've really hit it. Spurs have it up in the front court. They'll work a little bit of clock here as Stephon Castle works against Rudy Gobert. He's isolated there. Castle's got 30. He'll try to tie his career high. 3-ball circles out. Wemby had the rebound, lost it. It's loose at midcourt, goes into the backcourt. Io tried to track it down. He could not. It'll be Timberwolves ball. 5.5.
You think about the last 3 playoffs coming into this one. Denver won the championship 3 years ago. Dallas went to the finals and lost to Boston. That was kind of a team of destiny that year, but Dallas could have won that series as well. And then they lose to OKC last year, who ended up winning the championship. So, you know, I mean, that's a pretty good run against a pretty good team. If you're going to get blown out by teams that ended up winning the finals or getting to the finals, there's no shame in that.
Can't step back at the buzzer. It's off the rim, no. And the Wolves will head to the 4th quarter here in Game 6, trailing it big time. Down by 26 points. It's 110-84. San Antonio in control on the Timberwolves Radio Network.
Howell Timberwolves fans, McDonald's and the Wolves are teaming up to bring you the tastiest season ever.
Appreciate y'all sticking around. Friday night ass whipping taking place on national radio. Hey, the game is really on the radio in Minnesota. Anyway, I definitely appreciate y'all. Kind of did a double header unexpectedly, but expectedly kind of thing. Just going with the gut feeling, but nonetheless, an ass whipping taking place. You know what? Minnesota can blame injuries all they want. How about a lack of playoff basketball playing? Maybe playing the Denver Nuggets wore them out. Hey, that was a hell of a series, but I don't see none of what I saw in that series in this one. And this one's more crucial, and you at home. Hopefully they'll have a better 4th quarter. Potoi, back to the background. Yep.
Listening to the Timberwolves Radio Network.
4th and final quarter of Game 6 here at Target Center. Spurs up comfortably, 110-84. They have put up 36 in the opening quarter, 38 in the second quarter, 36 more in the 3rd quarter. For a team that was built on its defense, Jim, the defense just has not been able to get stops against San Antonio.
No.
In this series, really at all.
This has been
a huge example of how good the Spurs offense is.
I just mentioned the fact that Minnesota, you know, they lost to Denver 3 years ago. Denver ended up winning the championship. Dallas went to the finals against Boston 2 years ago, and then OKC last year. This is the best basketball team that I've seen play against Minnesota in the playoffs in the last 3 years. I don't know if you agree with that or not. OKC is so Shai Gilgeous-Alexander centric, and Denver is so Jokic, Jamal Murray centric, and Dallas was all about, Luka Doncic and what he was able to do against Minnesota. This San Antonio team is not just Victor Wembanyama.
No.
They're plethora of guards, and they have such an incredible arsenal.
They are well coached and straight young ballers.
Heck, we haven't even seen Keldon Johnson much in this game. He's got
with one veteran out there running up and down the court.
But he's
Fox.
He's starter level ability, and then they bring
everybody young, even the head coach.
Unbelievable.
Another starter level player right there.
And they don't even play Harrison Barnes. He's in the game now, but I mean, Harrison Barnes is good. Luke Cornett is good.
Yep.
Carter Bryant is excellent.
Dylan Harper spins on Jaden McDaniels in the paint, goes up and scores it off the glass for two. 112-84. Dosunmu attacks in the lane. He draws contact. And Ayo should end up at the free throw line for 2 shots here.
All those.
I think to your point, I think the Spurs are better than Dallas, Denver. I don't know about last year's OKC team. That would be close, but they might be better than this year's OKC team, especially if Jalen Williams is in, out. I don't know if we know his status into the Western Conference Finals.
The geometry of the floor for SGA changes with Wembanyama in the paint, just like it does for Ant. So SGA is going to have a hard time scoring in the painted area, but all these guards that San Antonio has can put the muscle on SGA.
And you mentioned it, they won 4 of the 5 meetings in the regular season. They played 5 times because they met up in the play-in tournament. Play-in? No, NBA Cup.
In-season tournament, the NBA Cup, yeah.
Dylan Harper to the corner. Harrison Barnes, catch and shoot 3, drops that one in.
Playing.
Barnes is only averaging 9 minutes a game, but he's 7 of 11 shooting in that time. Ayo across the lane and floats it up and in off the glass. Just a minute gone here in the 4th quarter. Spurs 115, Timberwolves 88. Castle met by Dosunmu. Now to Harper, and he is fouled from behind by Jaden McDaniels. That is going to make 5 of the 6 games in this series. Jaden McDaniels has picked up 5 fouls. And Jaden will sit. Anthony Edwards quickly back onto the floor. Here's Castle at the elbow, backs it out against Randall. They lob it into Wemby. The whistle stops play, and hey, an offensive 3-second call against Victor Wembanyama. I didn't know he could be called for that or a goaltend. We've seen both of those tonight. And yet still the Spurs lead by 27 points. Ayo spins away from Julian Champagnie, gets his shot blocked by Wembanyama. Another goaltend. I love it. Where were those in game 1? James Capers.
Well, at least 2 of them were goaltends. One of them probably was a foul, too, of the 12. That'll live on in Timberwolves playoff lore, that's for sure. That 12-block effort by Victor Wembanyama in a Minnesota win, by the way.
That's right. That's right. The greatest shot-blocking performance by an individual player in postseason NBA history. Came in a loss. Wemby, extra pass, Harper. Off the back iron, no. Rebound, tapped up off the window. Harrison Barnes collects it. Now Julian Champagnie will try a right angle 3, and he will drain it.
Just a clinic that these Spurs have put on Minnesota.
Everybody on the Spurs team can do everything. They don't have specialists. They have ball players.
Ayo, drive down the lane. He thought he got fouled from behind by Champagnie. Rebound collected by Castle. They give it back to Champagnie inside. Wemby turns and dunks it. Chris Finch calls the timeout. 9:50 left to go in this game. The Wolves are down by 30. It's the 3rd time in this series they've been down by 30 or more to San Antonio. 120-90. 9:50 left on the Minnesota Timberwolves Radio Network.
One other thing I'm sitting here thinking about, the Spurs really go to show you the lack of coaching in the NBA. You know, you have a lot of these veteran coaches who, you know, they want to bring the young player along while the veterans play just because of trust. And, you know, they've been around for 10, 12, 15 years. And the dude on the bench, the young dude, he'll get his chance. Spurs could have a lineup like that. They didn't do that. They drafted well. They traded well to set it all up. And everybody can do everything. More importantly, everybody plays defense. It's not a lot of shooting way too many three-pointers just because you open. There may be a reason your sorry ass is open, because you keep missing them. Trust me, I know. Dallas Mavericks, 2007. Avery Johnson. Potoi, back to the game. Let's do that. Get on a rant.
9:50 left to go in the fourth quarter. Spurs lead the Timberwolves here in Game 6, 120 to 90. Before we get back to action, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification all across the Minnesota Timberwolves radio network. Along with studio host and executive producer Cal Soderquist, I'm Alan Horton alongside Jim Peterson, our radio platform here in section 132 of the Lower Bowl, Up Target Center here in downtown Minneapolis. Our engineer, Veronica Rodriguez. Our statistician, Super Dave Hanlon and Mike Greenbaum. Our studio coordinators are Alex Leibold, Ben Haney. KFan, our home in the Twin Cities, 100.3 FM, iHeartRadio app, Timberwolves mobile app, Sirius XM NBA radio, channel 86, and all across the Timberwolves radio network.
Hey, I appreciate y'all.
Wolves will have it here, down by 30.
Just about a quarter left. Like he said, down 30. Where's the pride at?
They've been down by
Come
30.
on, guys.
This is something we haven't seen much of here during the playoff run, is a dejected Timberwolves crowd. I mean, the KG video just up on the board, and really nobody got up and cheered.
Yeah, right. It did not have its intended consequence. TJ Shannon continues to attack and continues to score. 18 points. Castle, 30 points on the night with 9 rebounds and 5 assists. Just muscles Julius Randle out of the way. Floats up the shot, no. Castle's got his own rebound. Kicks out to Barnes. Corner 3, no. Rebound tapped out toward the sideline. It's into the crowd. They awarded to Minnesota. Drive by Dosumu. He runs into Cornette, got his shot blocked. Here's Castle back the other way. Champagny looks off the pass and takes the 3 and buries it. I swear he went into a shooting motion looking to his left.
He did. He kind of, the chase defender was trying to close out. He looked him off and the chase defender stopped. Jeez. How about a 50 to 23 advantage rebounding for San Antonio?
It's unbelievable. Another rebound.
They've got 16 three-pointers made too, by the way.
Castle. Extra pass, Champagny's wide open in the corner, buries the 3.
They really let go of the rope. I mean, nobody even bothering to rotate out there to Julian Champagny. I mean, he's just knocked down his 4th 3 of the game.
Edwards, now to Reed. Around the perimeter, TJ will pull up on a left angle 3 and hit that. 126-95. Spurs have always been pretty good with their postseason success and closing out series. Here's a blow-by Stephon Castle. He gets by Edwards, and a lay-in is good. Another timeout for Minnesota here.
Bucket!
Spurs have won 60%
Straight
of their
ballers
closeout
in San
games.
Antonio, bro.
Chance to end the
Whew,
series.
Dallas Mavericks got a long way to go.
Exactly that here in Game
Commercial
6
break.
to Minnesota. 8 minutes left to play. Spurs 128, Timberwolves 95 on the Timberwolves Radio Network.
I know I said Dallas Mavericks. That's where I'm at in Dallas. We got a long way to go. Cooper Flag, and hey, you know what? You heard it here first, okay? You heard it here first. You know what the Mavericks should do? Since the Mavericks deal with big men who are injured, and it's like 3 of them, right? Just trade for Joel Embiid. If you're gonna deal with injuries, you may as well deal with one person that when he is available, he's a beast. Versus when these dudes are available, we don't even know what Derek Lively is going to be still. Mavericks got a long way to go. Commercial break.
From the Motor City would take place at 7 o'clock Central Time. There's a Game 7 that's been forced because the Cavs could not close things out on their home floor tonight. The Pistons rally for a 115-94 victory. They force things to a 7th and final game. Winner take all. Donovan Mitchell, after losing on their home floor for the first time in this postseason, what will it take to bounce back and win the series on Sunday?
It's going to take every little bit of energy, effort. We may make shots, we may miss shots. We got to stay collected, stay together. We're on the road.
He need to make more shots.
I have no doubt Cavs fans will be there too. So
he need to do better.
At the end of the day,
we nothing.
We're on the road, and
he need to play better.
Again, we project that matchup to take place just after 7 o'clock as the only NBA clash taking place this Sunday. Game 7, Pistons and Cavs. Back to Alan and Jim.
All right, Cal, thank you. 8:01 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Spurs now up by 33 points, and Chris Finch will empty the bench. He's going to send out Bones Highland, Jalen Clark, Kyle Anderson, Julian Phillips, and Johan Berenger. Fans, there's nothing quite like being a Timberwolves member. Whether you're in for 10, 20, or every single home game all season, you'll save big and catch every OMG moment from Anthony Edwards. Explore the membership experience at Timberwolves.com/memberships. That's Timberwolves.com/memberships.
We've got a new game here. It's called Reserve Time.
It is not called Garbage Time. We have officially eliminated that, and it is Reserve Time, an opportunity for the 5 gentlemen I mentioned moments ago. J-Max back. Jordan McLaughlin, Lindy Waters III, Kelly Olynyk, Luke Cornett, and Harrison Barnes, the 5 on the floor for the Spurs.
How about Ant went down to the Spurs huddle during the timeout to dap everybody up down there in the San Antonio bench. He got every coach, every player, from the starters to the bench to the coaches. I don't think he plans on sticking around the court after the game, so he wanted to say his congratulations before the game.
I like that, because I wouldn't stick around either. That's respect. Y'all beat my ass at my house.
By Berenger, no, and the Spurs have the rebound. Now Lindy Waters curls down the lane, floats it up, and it hits off the back iron softly and in for 2. 130-95. Well, if you're not going to do it after the game, I guess during a timeout is the best time to do it.
Yeah.
And showing his proper respects to the Spurs. And that's what you hope you see, sportsmanship, and I think we will for the remaining 7 minutes of this game.
Where Dante is sitting is like by the tunnel. He's like so far away from the actual bench. He's near the bench, but he's by the tunnel, which I'm not sure that's the message you want to send if you're Anthony Edwards. I know he's sitting next to Dante to spend time with him, but you could do that after the game as well.
It's great to see Dante on the road with the Wolves for almost all of these games.
For sure.
I don't know exactly where he was in San Antonio seated, but he was there. 130-95. He's in good spirits. Talked to him a little bit, he's talked to Jason Tatum. He said he's leaned on Damian Lillard a lot too. Has also gone through that Achilles injury. J-Mac against Berenger, now inside. We've got a foul against Luke Cornett. He got tangled up with Bones Highland. Bismack Biyombo
back to what I was saying real quick about Minnesota. They need to look to trade some of these people. Like, they could probably get something for Julius Randle right now. They need to get better. They can't do this again next year.
Screen to the baseline. He's got the big man, the 7-footer Olynyk on him. Kyle Anderson drives on J-Mac. Former teammates together here in Minnesota. And the shot goes up by Bones. No good. It's out of bounds to San Antonio.
Boy, it's really changed the tone and tenor of this series. I mean, it was tied up at 2. It was 2-2. And I think you're looking at the series going after Minnesota beat San Antonio after game 1. And then obviously with Wembanyama getting tossed in game 4, that was a pretty big thing. But still you're going, okay, this is a series. And a lot of people were saying it was probably the best series of all the series that were going on in the second round.
I think Cleveland and Detroit may have passed it at this point as Baron J cleans up a miss from Clark inside, and he will jam it with 2 hands. Spurs responded well from that Wemby elbow. That could have, as things have seemingly gone so smoothly for them, that might have created a little hiccup, but you know, Mitch Johnson with his coach speak and backing up his player and his team, and they almost kind of painted Wemby as the victim in all of that, which was interesting.
It's really true.
and they thrived off it. They dominated game 5, even though the Wolves made some pushes. There's Jalen Clark pushing Jordan McLaughlin out of the way. Crashes into Biyombo, and Biyombo's called for a foul. And they have dominated game 6.
They've got 3 legit shot blockers on their team.
Yeah.
Between Wembanyama, who's elite, I mean, he's probably going to be historically up there with Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt, they didn't track block shots back in that era. But between Wembanyama and Luke Cornett, and then you forget about Bismack Biyombo, but he's one of those great like archetypes of like just journeyman centers that are able to play in pick and roll games, set great screens, to play great defense. He has switchability. And then Kelly Olynyk and Mason Plumlee too. I mean, they just got a bunch of veteran guys that hold things together as Olynyk drains a slot 3.
Julian Phillips on a drive by Biyombo, lost it on the way up. It goes off of Julian and out of bounds. Mason Plumlee out to Kelly Olynyk. Now to Biyombo with 4:30 left. Spurs up big time by 36 points. Plumlee fumbles it inside, pivots, got it stripped, and Julian Phillips comes away with it. Mason Plumlee's been at it for a few seasons now. 13th year in the league. Here's Bones off the Kyle Anderson screen, pops on a jumper baseline. It's blocked by Biyombo. Bones collects his own miss, sets up Clark in the corner. 3-ball no. Olynyk the rebound. He's running the center of the floor against Kyle Anderson. Boy, everybody just shoves each other out of the way now, don't they? It's like cup the ball in one hand, shove off with the other. Olynyk missed that shot. Wolves come back the other way, and Bones pops in a left wing 3.
I kind of wonder if Bones could have helped Minnesota in this series. He did play the first 2 games and was ineffective.
Olynyk looking back towards Waters. Extra pass to Biyombo was deflected, but Biyombo still maintains control. Works against Clark. Clark pulls the chair and the travel. 3:28 remaining. We've had both media timeouts, so there should not be another stoppage unless someone wants to prolong the agony. Bones off the screen by Julian Phillips. Takes Biyombo off the dribble and gets his shot rejected. How many blocks is that from Bismack Biyombo?
Number 2 for him.
Only number 2. I thought he had another one. Cornette's got 4 tonight. 13 blocks to 1. Kyle Anderson, free throw line jumper, no good.
How about that?
13. 54-20. Spurs outblocked the Wolves in this series, 54-20.
Well, Beringer just got one right there on Kelly Olynyk.
All right, 54-21. Lob inside, Kyle Anderson tees it up, and Johan Beringer drives it home.
Minnesota got to 50 points in the paint in this game. They've won every game where they got to 50.
Yep.
They'd been averaging 36.5 points in the paint in the losses. DJ Mad Mardigan's still at it, though.
Nah, he doesn't quit. Doesn't know the score. Just talk about even keel every single game. Same level of excellence. Kyle Anderson, he'll take a drive on Plumlee, shoves him out of the way, puts it up off glass, and got it for 2. 135-106. The game 2 loss by 38 points to San Antonio was the largest margin of defeat in a postseason game in franchise history. The 29-point loss in game 5 tied for the 4th largest loss in postseason history. And we'll see where tonight's finishes up as the former Timberwolf Jordan McLaughlin gets a reverse layup. 137-106.
We're at 31 right now. It's going to be somewhere between 1 and 4.
You are on top of it. Right now, 31 would be number 2.
Park education comes in handy sometimes.
I mean, I tried to slip that one past you, and you just were like, nope. I see what you're doing. I see those.
Trying to contextualize this game already. I get it.
I've got the list right here, so 31 would be number 2 all time. But a Julian Phillips 3 makes this a 28-point game, and now we're falling out of.
Yes.
Let's keep it rolling.
This is reserve time.
Lindy Waters into the paint, the floater, short, rebound, Plumlee, put back, reverse slam.
How many bench guys are going to come in and reverse slam like that? I mean, after 13 years in the league.
58 rebounds to 29, so the Wolves are getting doubled up on the glass.
I'm not sure I could have done that in my 2nd year in the league. Just flat-footed, just jump up and throw it behind my head.
Bismack Biyama to a cutting Plumlee, rejected by Beringer. 22nd block in the series for Minnesota.
Well, Johan Beringer is probably going to be a rotation player for Minnesota next year, you think. You hope that he's going to get better. He'll play in the Summer League this summer.
Bones pops left side 3 off the back iron, no. And the rebound scooped up by Plumlee. There's under a minute to go in game 6. J-Mac is in the corner. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what kind of changes are made to this roster.
Right.
Teams always look a little bit different. How different will be the question. Kelly Olynyk on the run, off to Plumlee. Good pump fake, and Bones got caught up in the air, then came down on the back of Plumlee. Bones was trying not to hurt him. We've got free throws here with 26.7 seconds left. But I second that. I'd want to see Johan play.
I do too.
Want to see him in the rotation.
And so whether it's in a jumbo lineup situation where you get Naz Reid at the 3 and then he gets a chance to play some minutes at the 5 then at that point, San Antonio just going to run this clock out right here.
Yeah, there were not free throws, and so Kelly Olynyk just holding and taking the shot clock violation. And now the Wolves will have 12.7 left.
And I assume they'll do the same.
Well, San Antonio.
Hey, y'all make sure y'all have a good night. I appreciate y'all hanging with me for a double header. No ball game tomorrow, so it's looking like Sunday. One game, winner take all. Hey, y'all have a good night. Potoi, till next time.
They dispatched the Timberwolves in 6 games, winning game 6 here at Target Center, 139-109. Tied for the 2nd biggest win over the Timberwolves in their postseason franchise history. In fact, now the Spurs have 3 of the top 6 biggest losses the Wolves have had in their postseason's history. Two teams embrace. Not exactly a midcourt, it's more on the Spurs end of the floor. Big hug for Victor Wembanyama and Rudy Gobert. Wemby was too much to overcome for the Timberwolves in this entire series. And one thing it does set up, Jim Peterson, is a absolutely terrific Western Conference Finals between the Spurs and the Thunder.
Yeah.
I just think these are the two best teams in the West. Might be the whole league, but at least in the West, they deserve to play in the West Finals. I think it's going to be a heck of a series.
And, Detroit's still alive against the Cleveland Cavaliers. They have, Detroit had the best record in the East, and that's the thing you always say. For the most part, there's not a lot of Cinderellas. The Houston Rockets were able to be a Cinderella years ago with Hakeem Olajuwon, but the best teams usually win a 7-game series, and the Spurs certainly were in this series, and then OKC was just a juggernaut in their series as well against the Lakers.
3 games the Spurs had against the Timberwolves in this series where they led by 30 or more points. And ever since it was tied up 2-2, the Spurs dominate on their home floor and on the road to clinch the series in 6 games. The Timberwolves season comes to a close in the 100th game of the season. Preseason, regular season, postseason. 3rd year in a row the Wolves have played 100 or more games. 139-109 is the final. Stay tuned. The postgame gets underway next all across the Minnesota Timberwolves radio network.
Hey, we can vibe a little bit. I'm watching that concurrent viewer number. Once it gets to a certain, oh, it just drops some more. Once it gets to a certain number, we good, but we can vibe. Appreciate y'all hanging around. Sorry about that.
Fuck with it, bro.
Hey, y'all make sure y'all have a good night. I'll see y'all Sunday. Game 7. Win or go home, stay home, wherever you at. Potoi, till next time. Potoi remix.
Brain full of darts, bag full of gas. Gotta get away, twist up, quick fast. Down on my dick, lock fucked up. Steady make a move, still a nigga just stop. Nowhere to run, no place to hide. They say it gets better, they know it's a lie. Life in a bitch really ain't no surprise. Really ain't no surprise. If it wasn't for the bad, probably had no luck. Red ting when you see me on the scene, never go much. Rather roll up, post up. Gorilla glue the pack, got a nigga so stuck. Plug so clutch. Gotta go anywhere, throw darts. High above reality, I never flow far. Friend of foe, the evils playing both parts. Got an ice cold heart, spotlight so dark. Lord, please protect me from the lame shit. Rather stay on my own, never lane switch. Overthinking a lot, feel like my brain split. 28 black years, learn what pain is. I'm a stoner each and every time my last day. Mad dash, red race, too fast pace. Gotta screw the clean slate, had the backspace. Get lit, in his bag to the cash chase.
Hey, y'all make sure you hit the like button for me on your way out. I'd appreciate it.
Brain full of darts, bag full of gas. Gotta get away, twist up, quick fast. Down on my dick, lock fucked up. Steady make a move, still a nigga just stop. Nowhere to run, no place to hide. They say it gets better, they know it's a lie. Life in a bitch really ain't no surprise. Really ain't no surprise. Tomorrow gets us back to the bullshit. Tonight a nigga finna get lit. I got gas by the zip, got jack by the field. Take the bottom to the knock and no sip. I got bills being due, baby mama need cash. Twins growing up, 1, 2, 3 fast. Tried to quit the pills, think I might relapse. Looking in the mirror, swear I gotta see max. Can't quite feel those shoes yet. No clue, no you what to do next. Lost my daddy, my granny, my lady. All I got is my family, my baby. All the bullshit I've been through with me got me reminding myself on a daily. Only could trust the two niggas, just got him a brother. This world is so cold and too crazy. Brain full of thoughts, bag full of gas. Gotta get away, twist up, quick fast. Down on my dick, lock fucked up. Steady make a move, still a nigga just stop. Nowhere to run, no place to hide. They say it gets better, they know it's
Hey, y'all be safe. Appreciate y'all. Potoi, till next time.